Cup playoffs. Hey, he goes down and pays the price and blocks a shot as well. The Rangers and Penguins will keep you posted on that one throughout the course of the evening. Meanwhile, the Edmonton Oilers say goalie Bill Ranford will take part in the team's pregame skate tomorrow. Ranford left Game 2 of the Smythe Division Final last night after one period of play. In the first period, Trevor Linden's shot hit Ranford up high. He managed to finish the period, but did not return for the second. He's listed as having a body bruise. Now just figure out which part of the body is bruised on the play. Well, we're set for action at the Forum in Montreal. After this timeout, we'll take you there for game number 2 of the Adams Division Final with the Molson Faceoff. But before we leave you, let's take a look at the scoring leaders, brought to you by Air Canada.
Sort of what it feels like when you run out of Molson. Molson, bringing you Sports Channel America's exciting NHL coverage.
Sports Channel's 4 rules for following the NHL playoffs. First, watch the primetime game. Second, wait for score updates and join other close games as they happen. Third, stay tuned for the late game. Fourth, tune on again tomorrow night. Sports Channel America, the network home of the NHL.
Welcome back to our studios in New York. I'm Bob Papa. We're set for night number 18 of the 1992 Stanley Cup Playoffs here on Sports Channel America. The Boston Bruins and the Montreal Canadiens getting set to start at the Forum in Montreal for this evening's action. The men calling the action, Bob Cole, Dick Irvin, and John Garrett. It should be a juiced-up crowd. Montreal trying to even the series. We take you there.
Boston tries to go 2-up in the Adams final. The Bruins have already gained home ice advantage. with their 6-4 win in the opener. The referee tonight is Ron Schick. Ron Finn and Ray Scapanello are the two linesmen. Andy Moog has started all 8 playoff games for Boston. He started 11 of the Bruins' final 12 games of the regular season, so lots of work for Andy Moog. Patrick Roy was quoted in the Montreal Gazette today. I had a bad game. I'm not letting myself be affected. I always bounce back, and I'm confident I'll have a good game tonight. The Canadiens are going to start. Desjardins, Daigneault. Corson in the lineup. Up to Gilchrist. Keane the other forward. Gilchrist! Shot off Weimer, and it bounced wide of the net. The Bruins, Bourque and Weimer with Poulin, Sweeney and Reed. There's Carpenter on here now going in bumping. Carpenter shot it back of the net, and Desjardins comes back out quickly. Carpenter missed him. Corson goes in. He was hit as he crossed the line. Keane and Bourque bumped together. Daigneault was going to pinch in, backs up again, into center ice. The Bruins bring it in. Weimer squeezed off at the side of the net. Desjardins lost the stick, got it back again quickly. It didn't matter. The Canadiens cleared it out down the ice. 1 minute gone in the first period.
Shane Corson missed game 1, but you know the Bruins are going to be hitting him. They said it was a wrist injury, but everybody knew that he had sore ribs, and you can bet the Bruins will try and take advantage of that.
Schneider is on now. The Canadiens change very quickly. So do the Bruins. No score, 1:15 into the opening period. Schneider is forced back by Juno. Got a pass that was missed at center ice. Nyland had it go over his stick, and that is icing called against the Canadiens. And our very first update of the night from New York, and here's Ron.
Right, Bob, this didn't take long. The first shot of the game on Mike Richter. Kevin Stevens scores from Pack and Loney, and it's the Pittsburgh Penguins on the board first, leading 1-0.
And again, we say a special hello to our friends in the United States who have joined us for this game on SportsChannel America. Bob Cole with John Garrett and Dick Irvin in the booth, Ron McLean and Don Cherry on the Hockey Night in Canada crew. The Bruins and the Canadiens in the Adams final. No score, first period, minute 25 into it. Adam Oates is 12, winning the draw for Gord Murphy along the blue line. It is shot in, and Patrick Roy gets a chance for the first time in this game to handle the puck, and he scooped it up and held it.
Boston Bruins, Steve Hines has a shoulder injury. Lyndon Byers played in game 1 along with Brent Hughes. Now Bobby Carpenter is in for the Boston Bruins along with Peter Duras, who takes the place of Byers and Hughes.
Well, as mentioned, Shane Corson's back in. Stéphane Lebeau and Lyle Odeline played the other night. Not playing tonight. And Kevin Haller's back on defense, number 14.
Long shot by Wesley is gloved by Roy. Schneider for Skrudland. He shot it away. Carbonneau was on briefly. Goes to the Montreal bench. Nyland is back on the ice with McPhee and Skrudland. The Bruins. Schneider stepping into Oates as he took the pass at the blue line. Gord Murphy comes back for Boston. McPhee is forechecking for the Canadiens. Pass to the right side of Glenn Murray. He got it up to center, and the Canadiens shoot it back to the Boston line. Murphy lost it. McPhee has a chance, and he messed with the shot. Moog got a piece of it anyway. Shot was going wide. There's Nyland looking for some room. Canadiens seem to be finding some room inside that Boston blue line. It is centered. Gord Murphy turning in front of his own net. Got a pass away quickly. And down to center Oates for Juno. Sharp angle, the shot steered away by Roy. Here come the Habs again. 4 of them this time. Up to center, and the puck is shot in by Skrudland, who is now heading off. And Moog will hold this one. 2 minutes, 45 seconds into the opening period.
This scoring update brought to you by Menon at Madison Square Garden in New York. The Penguins get on the board. Kevin Stevens, his 5th goal of the playoffs on the first shot on goal. 1:29 of period number 1. Penguins in front of the Rangers by a 1-0 score.
Shot looked stoppable by Mike Richter.
Oates can't hang on to that pass. The Canadiens wrap it in. Don Sweeney hit by Muller. Ray Bourque takes over. Now the Bruins move it. Intercepted pass. Savard was caught by Bourque before he could shoot it. Leach moving up, and he was bumped at the Canadiens' blue line. Sean Hill is number 38. Checking him. Dion can't move out. There's Daigneault around the net for Montreal. Slapped it high on the glass. It's knocked down at the line by Sweeney. And Hill goes in. Leach pinned him back of the goal. Dion gets a chance to move it out again and does. Muller left it there in the center ice area for the tricky Denny Savard, but he couldn't beat Ray Bourque. And Bourque sending Leach away. Leach gets up over the line and flipped it off to the corner, and Muller hit him. No score. Nearing the 4-minute mark, first period. It is Eric Desjardins lugging the puck again. He's stick handled by 3 Bruins and shot it in. Bob Sweeney lifts one to center, knocked down by Haller. Winds up and drives it in again. Moog watches this one, makes the sign. It's up high and over the glass.
Well, Pat Burns and the media in Montreal, always an interesting combination, certainly. And some grumblings about his lineup, not all that much, but this is not a tough situation for the Canadiens anymore. In 9 games between these teams now, there's been only 3 fights, 2 of them in the first game back on October the 12th. But Pat has Chris Nyland in. Lyndon Byers, you notice, John, not in the lineup tonight for Boston. This isn't like it was once upon a time with the Canadiens and the so-called big bad Bruins. These teams don't play that way. Now that I've said that, it'll probably be full of fights today. Certainly not this season, not at all.
Gord Hines lost it near the Canadian blue line. Courtnall on the ice for his first ship. Shot by Leclerc. Missed the net by a fair margin. Desjardins again, bringing it up. Gets the line himself, and now has to hustle back as the Bruins got it out. Poulin played it to the right side, and Bob Sweeney shot gloved by Waugh. Knocked it down right in front of him. But the Canadiens were there to clear the goal area. Carpenter hit by Carbonneau. They push each other as the play goes on. Shot in back of the net. Bob Sweeney missed it. Leclerc again for the Canadiens. Bumped off the puck by Sweeney. Then Bob Sweeney lost it. Courtnall to center. Trying to shoot it in, and Hines knocked that down. The play is called on the offside at the Boston blue line. No score in this first period. Oates again for Boston. Juneau and Murray, the wingers. Gilchrist for the Canadiens. On the faceoff, Keane and Corson, the other 2. Puck shot in by Schneider. Bruins get it out. Near center and moving up. That is Oates looking around for someone to pass it to. He finds Murphy, and the shot blocked by Walk up behind him a little bit. He looked shaky. Near the post, he saw it in time and gloved it.
You know, I think, John, for Patrick Roy, in the wake of everything that's gone on about his play here the other night, as we look at that one again, short side, the first goal of this game is important. You know, he hopes it's scored on the Bruins, obviously. And it'll be interesting to see the reaction toward Patrick from the crowd if the Canadiens fall behind early, which they're not supposed to do in this building.
Look at how deep Patrick Waugh is. He's almost on the goal line on that shot from Gord Murphy. That's our new overhead camera. A good angle there as it hit his leg and then hit the post.
Canadiens win the draw and get it out. Intercepted pass near center. And Schneider again for Keane. Moving up to the right side. A little too far, but here's Gilchrist stealing it. He's going in. And was hauled down before he could get the shot away. And there's a hooking penalty called against Gilchrist, who is going in.
I know that hockey purists claim there's no such thing as a good penalty because that means you did something that's that's bad according to the rule book. But Weimer recovers here enough to put the hook on Gilchrist after the giveaway. Made it look as though Gilchrist was going to have a clear path to the net, but he hooked him down, and the Canadiens get an early power play chance.
It was Weimer with the giveaway, so he had to recover. He just handed the puck to Gilchrist, and Gilchrist is rewarded by getting the A assignment on the power play.
And it's the first power play of the hockey game. Canadiens have it. No score, first period. There's Corson coming out front with a shot. Blocked by Moog on the short side. Gilchrist and Keane in to dig it off the boards. Back to the blue line. Desjardins slipped it up there. Again to Corson to Desjardins. His shot blocked. Corson has it to keep it in. Into the corner. Gilchrist couldn't get it out to Keane. Don Sweeney swings around the net and shoots it down the ice for Boston. 1:30 left in the penalty. And Hill back. That's Reed, 17 for Boston in forechecking. He's a great penalty killer along with Dave Poulin. And again, the Bruins send the Canadiens back. 1:15 left in the penalty. When Hill gets to it, 1:10. I have to move in a hurry. No score, first period. They change now, and Muller is on with Savard, and they're getting together to bring it in. Savard slipped it back. Dion went a little too far, but it was kept in by Schneider. A good play. There's Denny Savard looking to pick a hole in the Bruins. Slipped it in there. Centered! Oh, grabs it with Dion in the crease area.
That was a change direction, John. It looked like from fairly far out. Andy, right place, right time.
Kirk Muller tried to pass it into the slot area off a Bruin skate right on Andy Moog. Now watch Kirk Muller deep in the corner. He gets the puck and then tries to throw it in the slot area. And you see it's tipped right to Moog. He's able to hold on. Hit him in the B on the chest. Couldn't have got out of the way if he wanted to on that one.
Canadiens 0 for 4 in the power play in Game 1 on Sunday night. Kirk Muller with 78 points, 36 of them goals, leading the Canadiens in the point department this year. Tops in the team all around, point-wise.
49 seconds left in the Boston penalty. Weimer is in the penalty box for hooking. And we're coming up to the 7-minute mark of period number 1 here in Game 2. Big face-off to the right of Andy Moog. Muller for the Canadiens. Oates. He'll take 90% of the face-offs in the Boston zone tonight. He's there again. Schneider, the defenseman, by himself at the blue line, and he comes up to keep it in. Muller poked it to the corner. Now brings it back out. A pass to the side of the net. It is centered. Here's Dion. He looks out. Shot. Oh, down. Big save. His biggest save of Brisebois, who came charging in from the blue line and was set up perfectly. 25 seconds left in the penalty. No score yet. Canadiens power play. And it's Savard. And a good move on Bourque. He centered it. Dion again. Muller was going the other way, turning and didn't see it. There's Muller. Back pass in front. Shot off Moog's stick. And the Bruins get away with it, killing this penalty. Weimer on the ice again. They're at full strength. Lazaro hit by Schneider. Canadiens come up to center. Schneider unloads the shot before he hit the blue line. Moog the save. Not too difficult. Hard hit on Leach by Nyland. Dion and Skrudland. Skrudland can't get the shot. He was belted before he could get set. Canadiens shoot it in. Holler bumped by Ruzicka. No score, first period. Long pass. Grabbed by Leach off the boards, and he comes in. Sets it up in front, and Holler made a fine play intercepting. McPhee racing in from Montreal, shoots. Moog the save, rebound taken by Gord Murphy, but he won't move it out. Desjardins tipped in front of the net. It's a way wide. McPhee left it in the corner. He nailed Ruzicka. There's Courtnall. Back to the line, Desjardins shot. Goal! Canadiens get the first one. A shot by Desjardins.
Skrudland and McPhee were very effective in game one with their forward checking, and it's McPhee and Courtnall. Courtnall back to Desjardins, and look at Brian Skrudland in front. There's no chance for Andy Moog. Skrudland does a great job screening the Bruins goaltender. It's Gordon Murphy cannot handle Brian Skrudland. He's outweighed by about 30 pounds and just couldn't move him out of the way.
Desjardins gives the Canadiens a 1-0 lead at 8:43 of this first period. And now Adam Oates in for Boston. Duras got his pass and was tied up. Daniel was all over him. Bruins pass it in front of the net. Duras stopped. Fine shot from the blue line. That was tipped. It was loose at the side of the net for a second or two. Oates then was covered by Daniel. And the Canadiens get it out and down the ice. That will be icing with Hines back. Courtnall got the assist on Desjardins' goal at 8:43, 1-0 Montreal.
Well, the other night we showed you what our research department came up with after working around the clock. Keys to the Canadiens winning at number one, an early lead. They protect leads well. This is very early, mind you, but they've got it with the Desjardins goal nearing the halfway point here in the first period.
Bruins have had only 3 shots yet on Patrick Waugh. None difficult for Patrick. Canadiens have had 6 shots. They have the only goal of this first period so far, and we're nearing the halfway mark.
Don Cherry talked about it. It's hard for the coaching staff. You've won the one game that you've had to on the road to get home ice advantage back again, and it's hard to motivate the players. The Bruins not with as much jump here early in this game as they had in game one.
He's done a heck of a job this year. The Bruins used 55 different people in their lineup this season. That's a lot of hockey players.
Amazing. Lost 560 man games to injuries and key players.
Poulin with Carpenter parked behind him and a bit to his left. And here's Gordon Murphy. Tries the shot. He missed. Corson, number 27 for the Canadiens. Lifted a pass to center. Murphy there for Boston. Gilchrist turning in his own zone with Corson. Poulin will catch him and bump him. Bob Sweeney for Boston, and Carpenter missed that pass. Brisebois back in a hurry. Turning away from Carpenter. Up to center with it. Gordon Murphy knocked one down at the Boston line. Then Corson took it away from him and gave it back to him. Schneider turning around on Bob Sweeney. Dangerous looking move going toward the net with the puck. Shot in by Gilchrist. Moog poked it away along the boards. Corson was there to stop Bob Sweeney, and here's Murphy again. Corson bumping in front of the net with Weimer. Bob Sweeney's pass goes into the zone, and the Bruins are changing. 9:30 left in the opening period. 1-0 Montreal leading on the Desjardins goal. Haller against Ruzicka. Pass ahead, and the Canadiens out. Muller comes up with Savard, and he's flattened by Bork. Don Sweeney giving a bump. Savard is going in there bumping with Bork again. Reed given a fair shot by Muller, and Moog will hang on to this with Dion standing right in front of him and looking him straight in the eye. He held it. Skrudland ready against Oates. Flip to the line. Daniel gets a shot from there, and he just missed. Moog went down. I don't think he saw it. Another long shot. He saw this one, missing the net. There's McPhee digging it out. Skrudland is in front. The shot is taken. Moog will smother it again with McPhee, and Nyland now in on top of him.
Well, so far, John, all of the offense has been Montreal. Most of the action and close calls in the Bruins zone. Denny Savard, however, might disagree with that. He was the victim of one of the hits of this game. There haven't been very many. Top of your screen as he hits the blue line, and he gets hit himself. Don Sweeney.
Good job by Sweeney taking the man Tough to do on Denny Savard when he's got a full head of steam, but played Savard well at the blue line.
Skrudland and Oates again. Skrudland in with a shot. He fooled Oates that time, poking it by the Boston player and going in for a shot. Bob Sweeney down the right wing. No room given. Daniel played the man all the way. Hill didn't look. Gave it away at the side of the net. Kept in by Don Sweeney near the blue line. Again, it's slapped in front, and this time it'll be Patrick Waugh who goes down quickly to smother one. With Juneau in, and Adam Oates rather close also. And Patrick held it.
They must have heard the good news. Molson's 35-year history with the NHL is going to continue. Molson, bringing you Sports Channel America's exciting NHL coverage.
Maybe he'll have the monitor on in his office. See if he can get some wisdom.
Bruins win the draw. Bork moving up, sharp angle, took the shot anyway. It was deflected wide of the net. Canadians do not clear it out on the first attempt. That is Schneider behind the goal by Poulin. They got it up to the line and out. And Bork backs up. Throws it back inside the Canadian blue line. Ron McLean is watching the Ranger-Pittsburgh game for us. 1-0 was our first report for Pittsburgh. Savard sets it up in there for Brisebois, turning, holds it, shoots it, and that's stopped in front of Moog. Boy, what a lot of time they gave Brisebois on that shot. Murray in, crowd still buzzing. He checked, he moved, got in front, he faked the shot, and then he let her rip.
He slaps his stick as he heads to the bench. He had two Bruins falling down trying to block the shot, walked right in and still didn't get it through.
Donato got to center and pulled Keane to the ice. Wesley will turn at the Boston blue line. Fed it ahead across center. Duras bumped. Donato carried on though. Desjardins took it away from him, and Gilchrist gave it to Corson. He couldn't make the play. The Bruins get it in there. Lazaro came close. Now he centered it. Duras going in. Oh, he missed the open side. Centered again. They score. That sticks one up. The puck did not go in. It did not go in the net. And the crowd responds. The Bruins thought they had it in. It sure looked like it. It looked as if it hit Patrick and got him behind him, but it stayed outside and squeezed by that near post.
Rob Schick was right there to make the call. Here's Duras one-on-one with Patrick Waugh, and he beats it in behind the net. The spinorama, and right here is where the Bruins thought they had it. Bounced off in front, but there's Patrick Waugh. Now watch, here's our special camera. We'll get a good look at it. Kevin Haller tips it. Look at Patrick. Comes across, gets the lateral movement, and keeps it out.
Oh, boy.
That was number 46, Ted Donato, who made that last play, and I thought he made a pretty good one. He was at a sharp angle. He just threw it out, looking for a deflection. That was really the only way he could score from where he was, and he came very close to tying this game.
I think he was trying to bank it in off Waugh, but it hit Kevin Haller instead.
And of the two chances, the better chance had to be Duras. He had Waugh apparently beaten. Murphy's shot missed on the short side, but he missed the goal in the backhand. 1-0 Montreal. 6:45 left. Long shot wide of the Boston net. Courtnall is on a rebound. Drilled it right at the netminder. Leach takes over at center for Boston. Coming up is Dave Reed, but he's tied up by Leclerc, and the Canadians poke it away. It is Courtnall trying to get loose. Gord Murphy very calmly takes it at his own blue line. Daniel shot it in. Courtnall late coming out. Now he's cleared the zone. Weimer away from Skrudland. Bumped by Leclerc. Courtnall can't move by him. And Reed for Boston. Pass to Oates. Leach is with him. Oates is coming in on that far side. A pretty good move to get along the boards. And around the net, he centered it. He had Brisebois beaten cleanly. 5:55 left in the opening period. 1-0 Montreal. Pass across center. Skrudland couldn't play it. Bork in. Don Sweeney, his defense partner, watching Skrudland. Bork starts to play to Juno. Mishandled it near center and has to go back. Here's Don Sweeney. Up with Bob. Bob Sweeney bumped. So was Don Sweeney bumped by Nyland. Juno can't center it. Canadians dump it out. They're laying back a bit now. 5:25 left in the opening period. 1-0 Canadians. Desjardins has the goal. And here's Oates moving up for a pass to the side of the net. Came off the boards. Wad covered. Wesley pinching in. Schneider can't clear it out. The Bruins forcing the play a bit now. And there's going to be a penalty called. A cross check near the blue line. And it's a Montreal penalty.
Checking at 14 minutes, 55 seconds.
First power play chance for the Bruins. A former Bruin, Chris Nyland, off a cross-check the call at 14:55. Nyland broke his stick on the play right there on Bob Sweeney. So the Bruins a man to the good right here. Adam Oates just finished a shift, but he's back on the point now on the power play. John, I've been trying to keep track of the lines that Rick Bowness has been using, and he has had Oates centering 4 different combinations so far in this game. And both Carbonneau and Brian Skrudland have been checking, and mainly Skrudland. Carbonneau hasn't played all that much. You know, if things get tough here, one of these coaches is liable to go up in the crowd and grab Henri Richard and say, hey, put on a uniform. You still look good. So Henri and Lee's at the game in their usual spot down at the south end of the Forum. Only 11 Stanley Cups, that's all.
Canadians will try to kill a Boston power play now. High stick hit Gilchrist. Play goes right on, though. Ruzicka trying to get in there. No room for him. Juno fired a pass out front, and Leach banned on it. And the Canadians shoot it down the ice. Gilchrist is going off. Juno played it inside the line. It's ripped out again, and Oates stopped it. Over to Bork. Back to Oates. Oates shot a pass up to the Canadian line. A chance for Desjardins to clear it. He got it high by Bork down the ice. 1:15 left in the penalty to Nyland of the Canadians. 1-0 Montreal leading. Schneider hustling back. Juno is chasing him, and that is icing called against the Boston Bruins.
Brent Gilchrist did make a very good play. Once he got clipped by the stick, he was upset. Put his hand up. He was carrying the puck at the time. He just left it there. He and J.J. Daigneault didn't get their signal straight, although Daigneault wasn't expecting it. And the Bruins, Ruzicka had a break down the right side. Daigneault recovered. Here's a look at how it happened. Right here, one of those, the stick slides up the arm routine. Right there. It was Adam Oates.
Daigneault did a good job coming back on Ruzicka, showed his good speed. Caught Ruzicka from behind.
Wesley for Boston. Bork the other defenseman. Carpenter has the puck now. Oates on the move, looking for the pass over there. He had to take it and bounce it in. Brisebois took him out of the play. And Carbonneau fired it on the boards and got it by Wesley. 45 seconds left in the Montreal penalty. The Canadians are leading 1-0. Desjardins has scored the goal. At 8:43, another icing called against the Boston Bruins. Rick Bowness is not happy with this power play.
Trying to break out of their own zone, and they're jamming the middle and trying the long home run pass that ends up being icing twice. And Gordie Clark, the assistant coach, comes over and has a few words with Rick Bowness. Clark, a great goal scorer in the American League, over 50 a couple of years.
Face off to the left of Andy Moog. 3:40 left of the period and 35 seconds. In a Montreal penalty to Chris Nyland. Skrudland and Gilchrist is back on for Montreal. Holler and Desjardins, the penalty killers. Wesley and Bork for Boston. Starting out with Oates, Carpenter. And it's Oates to Carpenter. That was stopped. Wesley kept it in at the blue line. Wesley comes in again to stab at it. Got it off the boards. Made a play to Bourque. He shot one in, deflected over the net and over the glass into the crowd.
Canadians cheated a few seconds on that whistle. Did you notice that? The referee lost sight of where it was on the shot by Bourque that was deflected into the crowd, and 3 seconds ticked down before the whistle finally went. Bobby
Carpenter was briefly open in front, and he's talking it over with Bourque. Bourque just couldn't get that shot by to Carpenter. He didn't try to drill it. He wanted the tip in, but it was tipped up and over the glass.
Round the face-off, puck immediately to the center ice area. Nyland ready to step back on. Weimer comes in, fakes the shot. The Canadian penalty is over, and here's Nyland taking a pass. He's going up on the backhand, and that's stopped by Moog. Nyland takes it back of the net. Can't center it. Dion might. He does! Moog makes a big stop, and there's a penalty. Muller took the shot. He was stopped by Moog and then was dumped heavily. And here's another Boston penalty coming up with 2:50 left in the first period.
Weaver, 2 minutes for high sticking at 17 minutes.
John, it started with Nyland being in the right place, right time, coming out of the penalty box to get the backhand away. And then as the play came out in front, Jim Weimer put the high stick on Kirk Muller. So Weimer in the penalty box for his second time in this period. Here's the play that Muller makes. He's all alone, and Weimer right there is called for high sticking. Montreal in this series now 0 for 5 on the power play. Bruins didn't get a shot on their power play here a minute ago and have only 3 shots in the period.
Didn't have any good scoring chance at all. Didn't gain control, but Weimer and Gordon Murphy both got trapped over in the corner, and that's why Muller was so wide open in front.
Canadians get an opportunity to go 2 goals up in this first period with this Boston penalty to Jim Weimer. Muller got the draw. Brisebois pass ahead. Dion tried to go along the boards, and Don Sweeney took it away from him and shot it down the ice. Schneider, Brisebois, Muller, Dion, Savard. Poulin and Reed, penalty killers for Boston, along with Bourque and Don Sweeney. Canadians in, but they're offside. Big crash at the blue line as Muller and Schneider tried to go in.
John, your first look in a while at Denis Savard in this series. Those of us here in Montreal say he's playing the best hockey he's played since coming over from Chicago. I don't know how you've seen him. A couple of games, tough one the other night, but he's got some zip.
He has skated a lot better than I thought earlier in the season. He would skate to the blue line and then make that little turn. He wouldn't challenge any of the defensemen, and so far what I've seen, he's been skating wide, and he's been a dangerous player one-on-one.
Canadians win the draw, but it goes back. Brisebois for Schneider. Got by Reed, but then Don Sweeney again. Stopped it and shot it back down the ice. 1:20 left in the penalty to Boston. Brisebois' pass. Right wing. Schneider, the other defenseman on there, ran into Dion as he got across the line. Now the Canadians, Brisebois shoots it in. Bourque will handle it first, and he'll clear it out. One-on-one, Reed against Brisebois. Reed waits, hangs onto it, slides it back. Bruins nearly got caught changing. Dion coming in, and it's in the center ice zone again, and the play called.
This period has 1:37 to go at Madison Square Garden. They've reached the end of the first period, and the Penguins have the 1-0 lead on the Rangers. If you have just joined us, the news before that game out of New York, Mark Messier has a back injury, and he is not in uniform tonight for the Rangers.
Penguins showing some good defense in the Washington series in the games they had to win in Washington. Shut the Capitals down, and doing a good job again tonight at Madison Square.
And we'd like to welcome the fans in the New York area who have joined us on Sports Channel America. Here in Montreal, I'm Bob Cole with Dick Irvin and John Garrett. 1-0 Canadiens are leading in this opening period. And Cordnell comes in, drilling a shot off the side of the net. It's a power play at this moment for the Montreal Canadiens. Weimer's in the penalty box. Canadiens Cordnell up to Gilchrist, trying to shoot it by Wesley and hit the Boston defenseman, and he shot it down the ice. 24 seconds left in the Boston penalty. 10-3 are the shots in this first period in favor of Montreal. They have the only goal. We're now 1 minute away from the end of the period as Gilchrist shot it down. Cordnell in on top of it. Corson is in there with him, and Wesley holds it with a skate. And they get a whistle for a face-off in the Boston zone. Only 6 seconds left in the Weimer penalty.
Just to finish that thought on Mark Messier, he missed just 1 game in the regular season. That's because the trade hadn't been made when the Rangers opened the season. That's the first game he has missed all year for New York. Brad Lazaro, number 14, from the University of New Hampshire, a Massachusetts native, in his 2nd season with the Bruins. Spot duty. He was down in the minors for a while this year, John.
He came to a tryout camp, and one of the Bruins scouts spotted him. Like the way he skates, they respect his speed. He's one of those role players. The Bruins seem to have dozens of them. Kills penalties, does just about everything for them.
Desjardins moving in close again. Here's Gilchrist trying to jam it in. He got it out front, a scramble for it. Down goes Moog, and he hangs on to it. A low shot by Gilchrist. And Moog saw it through a maze of players.
I think the Bruins will feel fortunate that the score is only 1-0. The Canadiens have been all over them, had the better chances, but just can't put it by Andy Moog. Here again, the Canadiens swarm the net, but just can't get that touch around the net. Here's the puck come out. Now watch, they just slide it towards Andy Moog. Shane Corson. Moog's down before the shot and makes the save. Different angle. Shane Corson, his presence is being felt. Look at, they can't move him from in front, and he finally does get the shot. And a good save again by Andy Moog.
Bruins are at full strength again. 44 seconds left in the period. 1-0 Montreal. Gilchrist kicked it in back of the net. There was Ray Bourque. Tipped out by Poulin. Daigneault for the Canadiens. Pass ahead, a good one to Cordnell. But he backed off. He saw Bourque coming at him. Now here's Cordnell again, working it in. A weak shot in wide of the net. Cordnell on the boards against Poulin. The Bruins get a 2-on-1 here in the dying seconds of the period. Oates dropped it back. Leach turns. Bourque was up there, and he was covered before he could get a shot. And the Canadiens hang on and clear it down the ice. 8 seconds to go in the period. Don Sweeney shot a high one in. Desjardins hangs on to it, poked to the head on the boards, and cleared it away as the siren goes to end period number 1. Eric Desjardins, his 3rd of the playoffs.
So the Canadiens with a 1-0 lead at the end of 1 period of play from the Forum in Montreal. More of our Stanley Cup coverage after this timeout on SportsChannel America.
You've heard of March Madness. Well, it's May Madness on SportsChannel with the NHL Playoffs. Follow the Wells and Campbell Conference battles as the best teams fight their way to the Stanley Cup Playoffs. We'll bring you dozens of games from around the league and across the continent. The Boston Celtics begin another trek to the top of the NBA when playoff action comes to the Boston Garden. Spring Fever hits with live coverage of the ECAC baseball tournament. Get ready for the World Cup with the U.S. World Cup team as they challenge Scotland and Ireland in live telecast. It's all right here on SportsChannel.
At the end of 1 period. Let's take a look at the highlights from action at the Forum in Montreal. The Canadiens trying to even up this best-of-7 series. And these highlights from the Forum. And Patrick Roy with a poor outing in game number 1. He gets tested early. Gord Murphy with a shot. Roy makes a little shaky save here, but holds on. Andy Moog a little bit more stable. He comes up with a big save. Chris Wiswa. Moments later, though, Montreal will break through. Eric Desjardins' shot squeaks through and gets past Moog. It's 1-0 in favor of the Canadiens. Eric Desjardins with the goal on an assist from Russ Courtnall. It came at 8:43 of the first period. Montreal in front by a score of 1-0. You're watching the Stanley Cup Playoffs on SportsChannel America. We now pause for a regional break. Welcome back, everyone. In the game you're watching, Montreal leads Boston 1-0 at the end of one period of play. Meanwhile, at Madison Square Garden in New York, Game 2 of the Patrick Division Final. The Rangers playing without Mark Messier. He has back spasms, and Darren Turcotte has a wrist injury. Let's take a look at the highlights, and they're brought to you by Menon. Penguins open up the scoring 1 minute into the game. It's Kevin Stevens beating Mike Richter on the first shot on goal. 1-0 Penguins. It didn't take long for the Ranger frustrations to show through, though. Adam Graves with a line drive up the middle. A two-hander on Mario Lemieux. Lemieux sat out most of the first period with an injured left hand. On the ensuing power play, Pittsburgh has two great chances, but Mike Richter comes up big once, big twice, and big a third time, preserving the Ranger lead. It stands 1-0 in favor of the Penguins at the end of period number 1. 13 shots on goal for the Rangers, 8 shots on goal for the Penguins. Loney and Pack got the assist for the Pittsburgh Penguins. So they're trying to widen their lead to 2-0. More of our Stanley Cup coverage on Sports Channel America. There's the score at the end of one. We now pause for a regional break.
16 teams have been cut down to 8 as the hunt for the Stanley Cup continues. In the Norris Division, it's the Midway versus Motown. Fedorov and Yzerman have the Red Wings rolling. In their way is the Stonewall D of Chris Chelios and the Chicago Blackhawks. Battling for the Smythe Crown, it's a Western Canada war. The Canucks are shooting for their first division title in a decade. Can they stop 5-time Cup winner Edmonton, or will newcomer Bernie Nichols lead the Oilers to the promised land? It's Game 3 of the Capital Conference Division Finals, live Wednesday on Sports Channel America.
Larry Bird was born to be a champion. He was destined for glory in the game he loved. Unbelievable! Call this toll-free number now and get bird watching at its best in this amazing video, Larry Bird, a basketball legend. It's free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated, the best way to capture all the drama of sports. Through rare footage, you'll follow Larry from the basketball courts of Indiana to the hallowed halls of the Boston Garden. Anderson, be there when the championships are won. Share the glory, live the moments. Be there for the hard-fought and emotional duels with Larry's longtime friend and rival, Magic Johnson. Call now to subscribe or renew. Get your free video and 54 issues of SI, including the swimsuit issue for only $1.29 an issue. Save over 55% off the cover price. For quicker delivery, use your credit card. Don't miss this heartwarming tale of a boy who lived his dreams. It's the story of a legend. The legend lives in Sports Illustrated. Call now.
Welcome back to our New York studios. For the second straight series, the Detroit Red Wings have been clipped on home ice in the first two games. The Chicago Blackhawks with the upper hand of the Norris Division Final. Let's take a look at how this series is shaped up. On Saturday night in Game 1, Bob Probert slams into Eddie Belfour. And then in game number 2, Mr. Belfour gets his revenge. Nice elbow to the head of Probert, a 2-minute penalty. Was it worth it, Big Ed? Chicago gets on the board early. Jeremy Roenick gets a breakaway, and the nifty little backhander scores the goal. 1-0 Chicago. The Wings will try to answer, though. Sergei Fedorov weaves through the defense, gets through everybody, but not through Belfour, who stones him. Then Brian Noonan will sweep up behind the net, scoops around, and will find Greg Gilbert on the other side for the open side goal. 2-0 Chicago. Late in the first, Jeremy Roenick circles the net, and it looks like he has a goal. Looks like the puck is in, but Tim Cheveldae pulls the puck out right there. They never went to replay. No goal. More Probert putting on the hits. This time it's Steve Larmer, a recipient of a cross-check right to the head. There you go. Good afternoon. Second period, Hawks score again. Steve Larmer cranks one and fires and beats Cheveldae. Chicago takes a 3-0 lead. The hitting will continue. Yves Racine will nail Jocelyn Lemieux. Lemieux would be okay, though. Third period, Detroit gets on the board. Steve Yzerman skates out in front and beats a prone Belfour. 3-1 Chicago. Things get chippy. Again, Gerard Gallant and Keith Brown, a little jousting, this version of the American Gladiators. What goes around comes around. Probert and Belfour meet once again, and it's a physical confrontation. But it's the Red Wings who are fighting, trailing in this series 2-0. And you can see Game 3 from what will be a noisy Chicago Stadium tomorrow night here on Sports Channel America at 8:30 Eastern Time. The Red Wings and Blackhawks should be a dandy. More of our Stanley Cup coverage on Sports Channel America after these messages. Welcome back, everyone. Montreal in front of Boston 1-0 at the end of one period. Period number 2 underway at Madison Square Garden. Penguins in front 1-0. Here's Jiggs McDonald and Eddie Westfall.
We welcome those of you who have been watching the action between the Boston Bruins and the Montreal Canadiens. 1-0 Montreal there. Here it is 1-0 Pittsburgh. We're at Madison Square Garden in New York City. I'm Jiggs McDonald with Ed Westfall. The big news here at the beginning of the game was the fact that Mark Messier isn't playing, has back spasms. Darren Turcotte has a wrist problem. But the Pittsburgh Penguins have lost Mario Lemieux, took a hard slash on the wrist on Adam Graves. And Joey Mullen in a collision with Chris King late in the period is missing from the Penguin lineup. But the Rangers applying pressure, trying to get even in this game. Chris King's shot is blocked. And the Penguins, clad in the black with the gold and white trim, come to center ice. Lead pass. Down goes Jágr. And Marawelli says he took a dive. We had 3 penalties in the first period, all against the Rangers. Now Chris King bumped on the boards by Samuelsson, and the puck is loose. Jaromir Jágr back for it. The Lemieux look-alike, trying to move it out of the zone, got checked. This is King for the Rangers, and his shot is tipped, goes up high, and comes off the end glass. Waltzed around a little on the play is Randy Gillen. Now Jay Wells for the Rangers puts it back in the net. Here's Chris King. The other side of the ice for Wells. Jágr knocked it away from him, but Paul Broughton is there. Broughton's pass didn't get through, and up comes Jágr. 3-on-3 at center ice. Brian Trottier with it. Trottier dumps it in. Kevin Stevens goes in after it. Mike Richter plays it around the boards, and it gets through into the center ice area. That's Samuelsson dropping back. Golf Samuelsson to Jim Pack. Laid it down into the Ranger zone. The play is onside as Francis goes for it. Dropped it back. Herdina centers. Jágr can't get it by Mike Richter.
Pushing and shoving on 7th Avenue, Mike Richter keeping the Rangers within 1 goal. They're getting set for period number 2. At the Forum in Montreal, the Canadiens in front of the Bruins by a 1-0 score on Eric Desjardins' goal. In period number 1, it came at the 8:43 mark. Shots on goal 11-3 in favor of the Canadiens. Now here's Bob Cole, Dick Irvin, and John Garrett.
Dick Irvin, John Garrett, and I'm Bob Cole. And again, we say hello to hockey fans coast to coast in Canada. And to you people in the United States who have joined us tonight on Sports Channel America. The Canadiens lead the Boston Bruins 1-0. The team's at full strength as we start the second. Desjardins has scored the only goal of the game, 8:43 of the first. Ray Bourque. Corson standing in front of Andy Moog, watching Bourque. Bourque, the quick pass to the line, broken up by Keane. Might get a backhander away. He's tied up by Don Sweeney, but there's going to be a Boston penalty. The Bruins get it, and a whistle goes. And here is a holding penalty against the Boston Bruins to start the second period.
This will be the 3rd Montreal power play. They're 0-for-2 and 0-for-6 in the series. You know, John, I think the Bruins must have come out after that first period figuring they dodged a pretty big bullet because they were outshot 10-3 and really weren't in it at all. They didn't have much going for them. Now they give the Canadiens a power play chance after only 34 seconds.
See Don Sweeney with one hand on the stick, reached around with his left hand and grabbed Mike Keane after the giveaway by Jeff Lazaro. A good penalty. You talked about a good penalty in the first period. Jim Weimer took that one. Don Sweeney made the right play and got caught.
34 seconds into the second period. Don Sweeney, a holding penalty. Montreal leading 1-0, and now a power play, and Bourque will send the Canadiens back outside the line. Gilchrist turning now with Courtnall, who got the pass. Corson, the other player up front. Off the boards to Gilchrist. Put it into the corner to Courtnall, and he lost it. Weimer for Boston. Coming back out. Gets as far as center and slides it into the Montreal zone. Sean Hill to Courtnall. Courtnall's pass. He hit Gilchrist at center ice with that one. Courtnall moving up into the slot and lost it. Gilchrist trying to keep it in. Can't. Hit the linesman Ron Finn, and the Bruins have it. And they're going to shoot it down the ice again. They make changes as Weimer cleared that one. 1:10 left in the penalty to Don Sweeney of Boston. Muller with Savard on the move. Here's Brisebois up the center. Off the boards for Savard, and that's broken up by Wesley.
Canadians are really having trouble getting into the Bruins zone and getting control. They don't want to shoot it in. They've tried to carry it in, and every time the Bruins just line up at the blue line and send it back.
Moog tap one into the corner. There's Savard looking back. It got to the line to Schneider. Back in there for Savard. Savard all the way to the blue line. Play set up to Dion. Muller's in front, but the pass to Schneider. He doesn't shoot it. Savard hangs on to it. There's a pass right in front of the net. And Dion is stopped by Andy Moog, who stepped out and got a stick in his way. 15 seconds remaining in the Boston penalty. Muller up the center. And the Bruins have apparently killed this one off. Puck into the corner, deep in the Boston zone, and Bob Sweeney sweeps it away. The penalty is over. Don Sweeney is on the ice again.
Again, another power play for the Canadians without a shot on Andy Moog.
Leach misses it. 1-0, Montreal leading, nearing the 3-minute mark of the second period. Puck shot in by Mike McPhee. Andy Moog coming out. Weimer and Nyland bunt together. The Bruins shoot it to center, and the Canadians dump it back in. Weimer turns. He has Bork as a defense partner. The Bruins taking their time. They can't make a play. They just get it out. Weimer trying to stop Desjardins. He won't do that. Here's Bork. Bork moving it up for Leach. Holler trying to stop him. Carried him in on the boards behind the net. It is centered, though. Waugh covered up, sending Skrudland away with Nyland as far as center, and he shoots it in. McPhee went the wrong way. Moog fooled him. Going against the flow as he cleared it. Adam Oates lost it just inside the line. A chance now for Skrudland, one man back. He's moving up, waiting for Leclerc. He's in the clear, going in with a shot. And Moog covered on the short side on a pretty good play by Leclerc. We'll be right back after this message.
They must have heard the good news. Molson's 35-year history with the NHL is going to continue. Molson, bringing you Sports Channel America's exciting NHL coverage.
Well, the Penguins still lead the Rangers 1-0. That game at Madison Square Garden, 6 minutes into the second period. Mary Lemieux is on the Pittsburgh bench, but he has not played since getting that two-hander from Graves, who received a 2-minute slashing penalty.
Here the Canadians are on top of the Boston Bruins 1-0. First period goal by Desjardins. Daniel right in front of his own net. Bruins can't take it away from Sean Hill. And he dumped it down the ice as Carpenter hit him. Got right into Andy Moog. He fired it hard, but it hit Keane. Keane looks for it. Played it into the corner. Two players fight for it in there. Carbonneau has it. Carbonneau tried to slide it in behind the net. Keane digging it out again. Fighting off a check. He was hit by Murray and fell finally. And the Bruins shoot it in. Murray moving up on it. Bumped by Hill, but he keeps going. Daniel gave it to Sean Hill. Put it ahead to Keane. Keane got it out. Carbonneau is coming up with Leclerc. Carbonneau trying to drop it, and the Bruins get it out of the zone again. Here's Don Sweeney with Dave Reed. Sweeney's shot missed. Schneider deflecting it. Brisebois shoveled it ahead. There's Reed. Corson gets it out. Up to center, and Don Sweeney again. Fired his shot into the corner. Just past the 5-minute mark of the second period. 1-0 Montreal here in game 2 of the Adams final. The Bruins winning the first game. Schneider dumping it in. Bork back. Ray Bork. Good pass for Reed, but Reed couldn't hang on to it. So Bork is coming back again. Andy Moog stopped it for Sweeney. Don Sweeney Can't get it out. Reed turns in front of the net. Courtnall was watching him. There's Bort. Out over the Boston line to center ice. Backhands a high one in and goes off. Coming up to 6 minutes of play in the second period. And not a lot of scoring chances so far in this period. Canadiens lead on a first period goal. Scored at 8:43 by Eric Desjardins. Corson across center. Wesley trying to tie him up. Corson got it in. And the shot by Gilchrist just wide. Courtnall lost it on the boards to Juneau. Juneau and Bob Sweeney with Oates on the left side. And Oates passed it in the slot. High drive by Hines on the glass. Canadiens move it out. Two of them pop to center. Led by Gilchrist. Here's Gilchrist with Haller. Right in front, and he couldn't connect in front of Andy Moog. Canadiens nearly got caught changing. Skrudland hopped off. Now he's back on again. Nyland all the way back. Bumped by Bob Sweeney. Skrudland chasing it at center. Murphy got there first for Boston. Nyland shot it out. Adam Oates to the right side with it. And here's Skrudland intercepting. But he's checked by two Bruins immediately. McPhee feeding it in. Nyland giving chase. Oh, and he ran into Weimer. Had him lined up. And one thing in mind. Here's Skrudland back of the net. From the corner, he left it there. McPhee trying to move in on Oates. Lazaro stopped by Hill, who came pinching in. Holding it on the boards in the Boston zone. No further play. The shots are 12-3 up to this point. But it's still 1-0. Our Stanley Cup coverage continues in a moment.
We'll be back in Boston. Got your earplugs ready, John?
Yes. We'll sit right in the crowd in Boston.
Thursday night, 7:30 Eastern. Game 3.
And here in game 2, Bruins lead the series 1-0, and Poulin comes in. Shot stopped by Wall. Down quickly to kick out the right pad to save that one. But the Bruins press again. Another shot. Red Wing went on, but that puck missed the net on the short side. Play goes on. Savard moved it up. Dion going in. Borg slapped at it and got it out to center ice. Trigger-happy goal judge down to our left, in behind Patrick Waugh. Puck nowhere near going in. Crowd still holding their breath over that. It is 1-0 Montreal. And we're coming up to the 9-minute mark of the second period. Brisebois sliced one back for Schneider. He turns away from Dave Poulin. Now to Brisebois. Reed forechecking. Nearly stopped it. Don Sweeney hit hard at center ice by Muller. Kirk Muller's thrown 3 or 4 hard hits already in this game. Here's Savard. Fake the shot. Spinning around. Muller going for the net. Denny Savard loves to pass it. And here he is again trying to pass one to Dion. Out for Boston. Duras and Reed go in. Reed takes the shot deflected high into the crowd.
To pass the puck at bad times. Late in the first period, Adam Oates had a good chance, ended up overpassing. And here, Denny Savard had a good chance to shoot. Tried a little drop pass, it didn't work.
Leclerc trying to barge in. Tied up by Gord Murphy. Shakes off that check. Carbonneau chasing the puck in the corner for the Canadiens. Left it for Keane. He's bumped. Donato caught him with a hit. And the play stopped. Keane of the Canadiens is moving toward the penalty box.
John, I didn't see what Mike Keane did in the crowd. Obviously, the referee did. I think you did.
He grabs a hold of Ted Donato's stick right here. Now, look at Keane. Usually you get away with that, but this time he's got such a good grip on it, he just grabs it right out of his hand. And there's Rob Schick right on the scene to make the call.
Canadiens penalty number 12, Mike Keen, 2 minutes for holding at 9 minutes, 3 seconds.
Because he couldn't have been any closer to the referee than he was.
Could have handed Rob Schick the stick. Maybe more shots on goal if the referees start firing some.
Boston has had just 1 in the second period. 4 in the game. Canadiens 12. The Bruins in looking for one now on a power play. 1-0 Montreal leading as Bourque gets set. Shoots it. Oh, the save on that screen shot. And the crowd give him a hand. He'll be tested now by Bourque again, maybe. Pass goes to the side of the net. Back of the goal. The Bruins on it. Out it comes. Here's a drive. Waugh, stop that, even though it was deflected. He had a good angle on it. Carbonneau shot it down the ice. Nearing the halfway mark of the second. 1-0 Montreal Bruins on the power play. And Oates goes in over the Canadian line. Dropping it quickly to Leach. Bourque waits at the blue line and takes it. Back into Leach to Bourque again. Now the shot. That'll go into the crowd. Off Skrulund, who made that deflection.
Bruins with good puck control in this power play. A couple of point shots as they set up Ray Bourque in the middle and tried to jam the net. But Patrick Waugh was able to pick up those shots. It looks more comfortable here in the second period, although he's only had 3 shots in this period. He only had 3 in the first period, but on those 3 in the first, he didn't look that great. Here's the shot by Bourque, and it's deflected, and look at where Waugh is. He's out at the top of the crease, gets the leg down, and makes the save. And here's another one, and look at this time Patrick Waugh again at the top of the crease. In the first period, he was deep in his net. He's out a little farther. Looks much more comfortable here in the second.
1 minute left in the Keane penalty. Bruins power play. Oates, Juneau, Murray, Wesley, Bourque. Wesley keeping it in. Goes in there with a pass to Juneau. Back to the line. Again, it's Wesley. Wesley had to hurry that pass with Skrulund checking him. Oates on the outside of that 4-man box. Back to the line. Wesley can't shoot it. Covered by Skrulund. Wesley again. Again Skrulund lined him up. Here's Oates. Back to Wesley's shot. Blocked. Rebound. Canadiens will clear it out. 30 seconds left on the power play. Canadiens trying to shut down the Bruins as they come out with that extra man again. Wesley took the pass from Bourque, dropped it to Oates, and that's offside at the Montreal blue line with 20 seconds left in Keane's penalty.
Bruins now have 7 shots total. In 4 on this power play, but they're unable to get those rebounds as the Canadiens did a good job. Their penalty killers picking up the rebounds off Patrick Waugh and making sure that the Bruins couldn't get a second chance. Brian Skrulund doing a good job, especially on Ray Bourque on this power play, making sure that Bourque couldn't be the quarterback.
The game the Bruins won here on Sunday in the opener, their first win of this hockey year in Montreal in the regular season. It was the Canadiens with 3 wins, and the 4th game was tied.
Muller trying to send the Bruins back. 15 seconds left in the penalty. Keane now getting ready to come back on. The Bruins move it up, and Carbonneau broke up a play at center ice. Keane is now on the ice. The penalty over. Canadiens have killed it off, and they're leading 1-0. Ruzicka couldn't get up to it in time. Pass to Bob Sweeney didn't work. Holler up for Savard. He was stopped by Weimer, who got the zone and shot it in back of the goal. There's Savard. He loves to get skating room. Then he puts on a show. He is given very little room to move on this one. Comes up the tap of the head though. Savard ran into Weimer at the Boston blue line. Dion up for Savard. He gave it to Muller. That was a quick pass Muller didn't see early enough. Puck out to the line, but still onside. It is shot to Reed, and Reed brings it out for Boston. Coming across center and going in. Reed gets set to make the play to Weimer. Shot on the short side. The blocker saved by Raw. Weimer trying to dig it out front again, and Dion fired away at it. There's Savard. Stick handles away from Lazaro once. Can't do it a second time. And Bob Sweeney for the Bruins got it back. Wesley comes to center with it. Sweeney going off. Wesley Individual effort to Lazaro. Easy shot for Patrick Roy. Lazaro again. Lost it. Canadians don't clear it. Roy had to be careful with that Poulin shot. He had to jump for that one. Hit him in the midsection, and he held on to it.
This scoring update brought to you by Menin. 3 times and you're in for Brian Leach. He swoops in on Tom Barrasso. He stopped once. Leach goes around the net, tries a backhander, stopped. On his 3rd try, he pokes it home. The Rangers and Penguins tied at 1 in the 2nd.
On the 2nd attempt, will score his 4th goal of the playoffs, his 10th point from Doug Waite, and it's 1-1 at MSG.
One nothing here for the Montreal Canadiens over the Boston Bruins. Game 2 of the Adams final. Hines will get there before Gilchrist. Hines for Boston to Lazaro, number 14. Back to Hines, and here's Wesley. Worked it up to center. The Canadians all back there, checking closely. Corson knocked it down the ice. Moving up is Corson, but the puck is out over the line. Poulin to center to Hines. Lazaro on the play. Hines the pass. Duras shot off a leg. Duras takes it again, centered, and Lazaro had to go behind the net to pick it up. Daniel all over him. Duras stopped by Hill. Gilchrist whipped it away to Courtnall. He had to back up with it. Now knocked down in front of the net. Recovering was Hill, and he got it out. Corson given a bump by Juno. Rolled it in over the Boston line. 6 minutes and 30 seconds left in the 2nd period. It's a 1-0 hockey game. Desjardins scored in the 1st for the Canadiens. Oates shot one in, hoping for a deflection by Leach. Roy made the save. Bruins can't keep it in. Fired on the boards and out. Nyland giving chase on Don Sweeney. Sweeney backhands the puck away, and Bork front of his own net. Puck comes to Juno, hopped away from him. Now he catches it. Left it to Bork. Bork threading his way through. Make the shot. Ray Bork turning back to the line. The pass to the far side. Weimer shot it in. It is centered, and Skrulin intercepted. 3 Habs on the rush. Up to center. Schneider going over the line with a shot deflected wide. Skrulin got the rebound for McPhee and Nyland. Nyland ran into Oates and dropped him to his knees. Juno. Nice pass at center. Now he dropped it for Weimer. Waugh kicked that out with the left leg. Puck loose for Schneider. Matthew Schneider coming out with it. High stick, but Carbonneau grabbed it, so the play goes on. Carbonneau's shot off a leg and wide. Here's Keane with Leclerc and Carbonneau on the play. Keane back of the net. He has control. Centered it. Carbonneau is standing there. It hit Leclerc's skate. Canadians force the Bruins. Leclerc turning behind the net. Left it there, and from the line, Haller's drive. Nowhere near the net on a deflection. Murray backhands it high over the glass. So there'll be a face-off in the Boston zone with 4:52 left in the 2nd period.
SportsChannel's 4 rules for following the NHL playoffs. First, watch the primetime game. Second, wait for score updates and join other close games as they happen. Third, stay tuned for the late game. Fourth, do it all again tomorrow night. SportsChannel America, the network home of the NHL.
We were talking about the Bruins not getting many shots through the first half of the hockey game. Let's talk about the Montreal Canadiens. 15:08 into the 2nd period. They have only 1 shot in this period and are being outshot now in the 2nd period, 8-1. So they've dried up, and I get a feeling, John, that the Bruins are starting to put it together a little bit better.
Canadians have been sitting back, playing well defensively, but it's awful early in the game with only a 1-goal lead to play that style.
Moving up is Desjardins. Dion from the blue line just kept it onside. Canadians go in to dig it out. That's Savard and Dion doing the work. Savard got in front, and the Bruins give the Canadians very little room to move near the net. Bob Sweeney slapped one in to the right of Patrick Roy. And here's Savard turning at the Montreal line. Ahead it goes to Muller. A good pass. Muller falls as he tries to get a shot. Puck is loose in the corner. The play goes right on, and the Bruins get on with it. The pass out. Down goes Reed. Sharp angle. Desjardins taking it away from the net, and there's Savard again. Dion to his left. Muller to his right. Goes over the line, trying to give it to Muller, but Hines broke it up. Out into the center ice zone. Driven back in by Daigneault, and here's Ray Bourque. Bourque dropping into the line. A break. Carbonneau. The Bruins hustling back, though. Don Sweeney. Pass in front. Over the stick of Keane. Here's Daigneault keeping it in. Moog making signs. He's out of the net. Hill couldn't get the shot away quickly enough. And Moog was allowed to get back in, and then he caught it.
Pittsburgh regains the lead at Madison Square Garden. This update brought to you by Menin. Off the faceoff, won by Brian Trottier. It's Larry Murphy with the shot from the blue line, his fourth of the playoffs. It rolls past Mike Richter. 2-1 Penguins in period number 2.
New York. Thank you, Ron. He'll keep us posted on that game, folks, at Madison Square Garden in New York. Here it's 1-0 Canadiens. 3:35 remaining in the second period. A first period goal by Eric Desjardins at 8:43. That's all the scoring so far. Poulin plays one in off his skate. It's behind the Montreal net. Centered. Carpenter missed it. Carpenter takes it in the corner now. Along the boards, and he shot it back at the goal, and there was Patrick Roy giving it to Courtnall. Pass hit the side of the Montreal net off Daigneault. Carpenter shot it in for Poulin. Hill all over him. Corson trying to get it out. It got out over the line for Bourque, and the Bruins have to clear the zone. Here's Hill, looking more confident now. Shot one in high on the glass. And his first goal in Game 1 here at the Forum the other night. The Canadiens lost that game to Boston. And the Bruins looking to take a 2-game lead in this Adams final before shifting the scene to the Boston Garden. Canadiens are ahead, however, in this one 1-0. 2:30 left of the second period. There's Juneau, the bright young star for Boston. Corson gave it a Nyland coming in, ripped the shot. Moog stopped it, penalty being called. Moog was upended. Nyland had a great chance. He's going off.
Chris Nyland had his second pretty good scoring chance of the hockey game right there, coming in on from the left side, but along the way Nyland gets caught interference. Now here's the shot. Nyland follows in. What does he do here?
He runs over Andy Moog. And immediately Rob Scheck made the call. Good save by Moog, but look at Nyland. Nobody near him, and he just runs over the Bruins goaltender.
Penalty killing in the hockey game has been pretty good. Boston 0 for 2 tonight. Canadiens 0 for 3 with a man advantage. So Boston now with an opportunity to tie it in the late going of the second period. Adam Oates, Juneau, Murray, Wesley, and you know the other guy, right? 77, Ray Bourque. Canadiens can move it quickly. Juneau takes it, waited too long. There's Oates. Gave it to Juneau in the corner, close quarters in there. Daigneault watching him. Back to Wesley, and now Bourque. But he hits Skrudlin with that pass. Skrudlin hangs on to it. Kills a few seconds, gives it to Desjardins. Desjardins with Muller. The pass all the way back to Carbonneau. And he shot it high on the glass. 1:20 left in the penalty to the Canadiens. Nyland. Bruins move out. Trailing 1-0. And coming in now. Oates along the left side. Murray goes in. Hit from behind. Two players go down. He and Schneider. Here's Wesley from the point. Gets set. No shot. Oates on the outside. Carbonneau watching his every move. Pass nearly intercepted. Desjardins fell. It's centered. Good play by Schneider. Got his leg down to stop that pass out with two Bruins at the edge of the crease. Boston pressing on this power play now. Good pressure right in front of the net. Score! You could almost tell it was coming. The Bruins were all of Patrick Roy, and they score with 58 seconds left in the period and tie it up.
Glenn Murray, the youngster from Bridgewater, Nova Scotia, uses his size and reach in front of Patrick Roy. The Bruins control on the power play. Good puck control, and watch Murray get positioned in front and use that reach. Look, he's got his back to the play, but he reaches around and just slides it off the post past Patrick Roy. Look at Murray. Great strength, good reach, able to control Eric Desjardins and gets the puck and slides it off the post and in.
Second goal of the playoffs for the youngster, up after a season with the Sudbury Juniors, and the timing was perfect for Boston. Less than a minute to play in a period, and they tie the game.
19:02, the time of the goal by Murray from Oates and Juneau. A power play goal by Boston ties it. Canadians, Dion and Muller get in over the Boston line. Dion is stopped by Don Sweeney. Up to Bob Sweeney. Coming out, trying to drop a pass in through center to Murphy, but the Canadians have it again. Daigneault and Hill. Hill's long shot hit Don Sweeney at the line. Bob Sweeney for Boston on the right wing boards, gets to center and slides it in. 15 seconds left to the period. Savard looked as if he'd chop it away. Poulin was hit by Hill and knocked down. And the Canadians with 8 seconds left. Muller took a quick glance at the clock and played it up there for Daigneault. Bob Sweeney grabbed it, shot it to center. Poulin missed it, and the siren goes to end the second period. For the Bruins.
Montreal and Boston tied at 1 at the end of 2. Pittsburgh on a power play, leading the Rangers 2-1 in period number 2. The Madison Square Garden, Jig McDonald and Eddie Westfall.
We welcome those of you who have been watching the game between the Bruins and the Canadiens here at Madison Square Garden. We're in the last minute of play in the second period, and it's 2-1. Pittsburgh on top. Pittsburgh without Mario Lemieux, also without Joey Mullen. Yager leading this Pittsburgh rush on a power play, dumps the puck into the corner. Graves frees it up, and down the ice it goes. Half a minute to go, period 2. Also out to play the puck.
Pittsburgh, of course, missing someone like Mario Lemieux and Joey Mullen on the power play, Jigs, but they still have a lot of talent on the ice. It just hasn't been able to gear up on power plays.
They're into the zone again, but McEachran out of Boston University couldn't finish the pass. And the Rangers have dumped it down. Probably not enough time for another rush. Samuelson will just chew up some clock, clear the puck out toward center ice, and there's the horn. That's the end of the second period. The teams exchange second period goals, and it's 2-1 Pittsburgh after 40 minutes of play. Let's join Bob Papa in our Sports Channel America studios.
Thank you very much, Jake. So both games at the end of 2 periods of play. More of our Stanley Cup coverage on Sports Channel America after these messages.
Sort of what it feels like when you run out of Molson. Molson, bringing you Sports Channel America's exciting NHL coverage.
Welcome to our studios in New York. I'm Bob Papa. In a game some of you are watching, the Pittsburgh Penguins lead the New York Rangers by a 2-1 score at the end of 2 periods of play at Madison Square Garden in New York. Some of you are watching the Adams Division final, game number 2 at the Forum in Montreal. The Canadiens and Bruins. Boston won game 1 of the series by a 6-4 score, and the Bruins have won 3 of the last 4 series against the Montreal Canadiens. Montreal trying to even things up. These highlights brought to you by Men. And Patrick Roy with a poor outing in game number 1. Gets tested early here by Gord Murphy. A little shaky, but he makes the save. Looking more stable, Boston's Andy Moog. Here he comes up with a big save on Patrice Brisebois. What a save by Moog here. And the Bruins clear the rebound. Moments later, though, Montreal breaks through. Eric Desjardins with the shot. It squeaks through right on the post. 1-0 Montreal. Late second period. Boston on the power play. Glenn Murray camped out in front. Swats at the puck. Knocks it in off the post. 1-1 the score. And that's where they stand at the end of 2 periods of play. That goal came at 19:02 of the second period. Adam Oates and Joe Juneau with the assist, and with that assist, Juneau takes over the scoring lead for rookies so far in the 1992 playoffs. More of our Stanley Cup coverage on Sports Channel America. We now pause for a regional break.
You've heard of March Madness. Well, it's May Madness on Sports Channel with the NHL Playoffs. Follow the Wales and Campbell Conference battles as the best teams fight their way to the Stanley Cup Playoffs. We'll bring you dozens of games from around the league and across the continent. The Boston Celtics begin another trek to the top of the NBA when playoff action comes to the Boston Garden. Spring Fever hits with live coverage of the ECAC baseball tournament. Get ready for the World Cup with the U.S. World Cup team as they challenge Scotland and Ireland in live telecast. It's all right here on Sports Channel.
Celtics are going to go to Bird. He'll take it.
Back, everyone. After letting Game 1 slip away, the Vancouver Canucks put the lid on the Edmonton Oilers in Game number 2 at the Pacific Coliseum last night. Watch the upper left of your screen. Luke Richardson with a high stick on Cliff Roning. He was down, and Roning would come back and make the Oilers pay. Vancouver will answer with some offense. Sergio Mamesa with the blast. Bill Ranford with the glove save, keeping the Canucks off the board, but they would not be denied on a 5-on-3. Trevor Linden feeds Jeff Courtnall, who puts it home 1-0 in favor of the Canucks. Moments later on the power play, the Canucks scramble around. Igor Larionov will pop it home in the scrum. 2-0 Canucks. Then Courtnall will find Roning on the doorstep, and he will find the twine. Watch it right side. Waiting. Bing! There's the goal. 3-0 after 1. Bill Ranford was injured on this next play in the first period. A bruise to the upper body. He did not return. Ron Tugnut, his replacement, didn't fare too well himself, though. Facing a 3-on-1. No chance. Cliff Roning, the trailer. Slam dunk. 4-0. Vancouver goes on to win. This series is tied up at 1 game apiece. The Edmonton Oilers outshot 15-1 in period number 1. And as for Bill Ranford of the Edmonton Oilers, well, he is listed as having a body bruise. Figure out where that is. And the team says that he will skate with the club. You get another look at the shot by Trevor Linden. Here it appears where Ranford might have been hurt. He kind of went down at this point in the prone position. And when the whistle blew, Ranford was flexing his muscles a little bit, and he would go off at the end of the period. He will skate with the team tomorrow. His status is day-to-day. Now for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Everyone thinks that they're a great offensive team, which they are with Mario Lemieux and Jaromir Jagr, but it's tight when it counts for these guys as well. They know how to play defense. During the regular season, look at their goals against. But within the division against New Jersey and Washington, they were tight. Against Boston and Minnesota as well. Now, how about last year in the playoffs when you take a look at the situation for the Pittsburgh Penguins and how they stand as far as that is concerned? Well, that's what they did last year in the playoffs. Now, this year, how are they doing? Well, during the regular season, a 3.85 goals against. First 4 games against Washington, they were giving up 5 goals a game, but in games 5 through 7, in which they won the series, there's the defense, 2.33 goals against. Game 1 against the Rangers, they gave up 2 goals. So far, they've only given up 1 goal through 2 periods of play. For those of you watching the Ranger game, we'll take you back to the Garden. More from our New York studios after this timeout. We now pause for a regional break.
Celtics are going to go to Bird. He'll take it.
Welcome back, everyone. Canadiens and Bruins tied at 1 at the end of 2 periods of play at Madison Square Garden in New York. Game 2 of the Patrick Division Final. Mark Messier not playing for the Rangers with back spasms. Darren Turcotte not playing with an injured wrist. Let's take a look at the highlights from Madison Square Garden. They're brought to you by Menon. Penguins come out scoring 1 minute into the game. It's Kevin Stevens with the shot, beats Mike Richter. 1-0 Pittsburgh. It didn't take long for the Ranger frustrations to show, though. Adam Graves lining the double to right field. A two-hander on Mario Lemieux. He did not return to the game in period number 1. The Rangers continue their roughhouse tactics. It's time for Joey Mullen to get whacked around, the victim of a cheap hit by Paul Broughton. Mullen did not come back as well. Second period, New York ties it up. Brian Leetch, initial shot. Second shot, no good. Third shot, why not? There's the goal. 1-1 the score. Late in the period, the Pittsburgh Penguins regain the lead. The faceoff comes out to Larry Murphy, who winds and lets fly. 2-1 Penguins. That's where they stand at the end of 2 periods of play. The Rangers out shooting the Penguins 25-21 so far in the game, as you see the goal scorers as well. More of our Stanley Cup coverage as you get a look at the nightlife of Montreal after this timeout. Welcome back, everyone. Tomorrow night on SportsChannel America, it's back to the Campbell Conference, and you will see the Chicago Blackhawks playing host to the Detroit Red Wings at 8:30 Eastern Time. Chicago leads in this best-of-7 series 2-0. Check your local listings. Of course, we'll keep you posted on Edmonton and Vancouver as well throughout the course of the night. Well, they're getting set for period number 3 at the Forum in Montreal. The Canadiens and Bruins tied at 1. Really 2 different periods. In period number 1, Montreal outshooting Boston 11-3. In period number 2, Boston outshooting Montreal by a 9-2 margin. Murray, the goal scorer for Boston in the second. Desjardins for Montreal in period number 1. 1-1 the score. We're set for a period number 3. Let's take you back out to the Forum in Montreal.
For the third period here in Game 2 of the Adams final. We're just 6 seconds into the third period, and the score tied 1-1. Can I ask John a question? Mario Lemieux has been on the bench all through the second period in New York. He has not stepped on the ice. Why would he stay on the bench?
A lot of times teams do that just so the other teams know he might be available, so you don't take penalties, because Lemieux is such a big part of the power play.
We'll keep you posted on developments down there. Bourque shot one in wide of the Montreal goal. Ron McLean watching that game for us, along with Don Cherry. They'll keep us posted. Pittsburgh and the Rangers, with Pittsburgh 1 up in that series. Bruins 1 up in this series. And the score tied here in the third. Down goes Oates across the Montreal line. Juno bumped off the puck by Skrudland. It is Daigneault for the Canadiens, back of his own net. Boy, is the checking close through the second period, and it looks as if the third is going to be much the same. There's Skrudland watching Bourque. Murray for Juno without the helmet. Oates gets set. The pass off the stick in front. Murray couldn't hold it. Here's another pass to Murray, and he missed that one. Nyland hit him in the corner. Desjardins, he has Dion up there, but the pass was deflected by Murphy. And Dion has to clear the zone. 1:20 gone in the third. From center, Brisebois, and Schneider just shoots it in. The Bruins will play it. Or will they? Corson centers to Dion. Back of the net, trying to center. He's out front with the backhander. That's blocked. He got it again. Another shot he missed. Moog without the stick. Carpenter knew that, and he wasted a little time in shooting it down the ice to give Andy Moog a chance to get the goal stick. Icing is called.
Andy Moog lost his stick on the wraparound try. Moog tried the poke check. The stick got caught up, and he loses his stick, but the Canadiens couldn't take advantage and get any good low shots. Now watch, Moog tries a poke check, gets the stick caught up in the mesh, but the Canadiens couldn't get any shots through on Andy Moog.
1-1 tie in the third period. 1:43 gone. Face off deep in the Boston zone. Corson against Poulin. And from the draw, the Canadiens win it quickly at the line. Brisebois shot. Stopped by Moog, and there was a rebound, but Bourque was the only one who could play it, and he did. And he carries to center and shoots it in. There's Leach going after Schneider. Brisebois back, bumped by Carpenter. Schneider trying to pin Leach in the corner. Poulin went in there, but the Canadiens are out with the puck as far as the line. Leach stole it, brought it back in. Brisebois again. Goes back at the net with it. Bruins pressing the Canadiens. Corson turns at the side of the net. There's Keane. He's checked. Carpenter fanned on a shot. Finally, the Canadiens get it out. No icing. That's been waved off, and Moog saw it, so he's out quickly. Missed it. Weimer will take it for Boston. Up for Reed. He has to wait for the puck. Now to center. Shoots it in. The Bruins are changing as Daigneault turns quickly. Lifted one to center ice. They don't put much together. They just get rid of it. Now Savard trying to put something together. Here's a pass in front of Gilchrist. Little out of his reach. Long pass from Muller. Donato turns for Boston. Shoots it from center to the boards. To the right of Patrick Roy. And Hill turns. Onto the glass with it. And then gets it out to center. Boston's Bob Sweeney. Over for Donato. Hill trying to stop him. He succeeds. It is played back to the line. Murphy turning. Shot. Roy. Can't find it. Whistle goes. Puck came loose. But the whistle had sounded, and Patrick Roy hangs on. Tonight's game is coming to you from the Forum in Montreal.
Pat Burns was shaking his head moments ago. Bob Sweeney all by himself in front of Patrick Roy had a couple of whacks at it. Here's a shot from the point. Now look at Sweeney. There's no Canadians around. He has two cracks at it. Rob Schick loses sight of the puck and blows the whistle. Now look at Sweeney. He's all by himself, has 1-2 swats. And then Brent Gilchrist is the first one to arrive.
Oates won the draw cleanly. Murphy shot it. Wow, looked pretty good going down to stop that. Cardinal tied up at center, letting Leclerc loose. And he ripped the shot, telegraphed the shot really, and Wesley had no problem deflecting it.
Mario Lemieux injured, wearing short gloves. There's Joe Juneau. Look at him. And he's got the short gloves on. The elbow pads are a lot longer now than they used to be, but they're still, when you handle the puck, and look at the space right there at the top of those gloves. Very vulnerable, and usually when the other players are slashing, they try and hit your stick, but your hands are right down on your stick. And occasionally you can get a good shot. I know a lot of the fighters wear the short gloves because they're easier to get off. And the puck handlers like them because you get a little better feel, but you're taking the chance like Mario did, where you can get hit.
Well, it's still 2-1 for the Penguins. Stevens and Murphy. Leach, the goal scorers. That's into the third period now. And Joey Mullen, we understand, has also been injured, so they are dropping off on the Penguin side of things.
Desjardins scored the first goal of this game, the Canadiens' goal at 8:43 of the first period from that very spot. This one was deflected.
7 minutes into the second period, the Canadiens were out shooting Boston 12-3. Since then, the Bruins have outshot Montreal 13-2. And we're 3.5 minutes gone here in the third.
Wesley, he saw Carbonneau. He had a hunch to pass it along in front of the net, but Carbonneau has that great anticipation. So wisely, Wesley held on to it. Puck is over the boards at the Boston bench.
Speaking of injuries, Bob, Raymond Bourque has gone now to the Boston dressing room. We don't know why. So we'll try to bring you that bit of news as soon as we can. Is it an injury? Is it equipment? But you can't find him there on the Boston bench, nor on the ice.
I'm sure Rick Bowness would like to try and find him as he's talking things over with Glenn Wesley and Don Sweeney, who now will see an awful lot of ice time without Bourque.
1-1 tie in the third period. The Bruins trying to take a 2-game lead in the Adams final. Poulin stopped by Dion. He's around the net swiftly. Loose puck in front of the goal. And the Bruins do not get it out. On the first crack, on the second they do. Holler brought it in, and that is offside at the Boston blue line.
looks to me in many ways, John, like the players are saying, well, if this thing's going to be decided by a mistake, I don't want to make it.
Everything is just out and in deep. Players, two defensive teams know how to play this little defensive game.
Dion, he's had a couple of fairly good rushes for the Canadiens. This time Murphy took him in on the boards. Poulin in front of the netminder, Andy Moog, starting the Boston Bruins back. Leach up to the Canadiens line, dropped it for Poulin. He was poke-checked. 4 Canadiens race away as the Bruins were changing. Eric Desjardins, nice play for Corson. The backhander missed. Here's Schneider. Moog stopped it, rebound, score! Canadiens lead 2-1.
Shane Corson's folks back at Barrie will like this one. He has a good chance on his backhand, tries a little slider that misses, but then he stays at the net. The shot comes through for Matthew Schneider. Now look at the Canadiens going to the net. It's not pretty as Dion hits Andy Moog down, but there's Shane Corson sliding it under Moog. Good job by Dion taking out the goaltender.
4:53 the time of the go-ahead goal for Montreal. Corson gives the Canadiens a 2-1 lead. Bob Sweeney shot the puck to center. Ruzicka is stopped at the Canadiens line. Schneider and Dion assisted on the Corson goal. Scored at 4:53. So it's Montreal 2, Boston 1. Gilchrist is stopped near center ice, and he is going off now. He took a hit and heads off to the Montreal bench. Schneider again for Canadiens. Lifts a high one. Everybody was covered, so he just dumped it away. Gordon Murphy to the blue line. Bob Sweeney can't reach it. Skrudlin can't reach that pass. Canadian Schneider again. Ahead to Skrudlin near center. Skrudlin just rolled it into the Boston zone. McPhee and Nyland on with him. Bob Sweeney for Boston. Tried to play it out. Got by Daigneault down the ice. Oates and Juno are the other 2 forwards for the Bruins. And the Boston Bruins are called. We'll be back.
Game on the Boston bench. Very bad news. Raymond has a shoulder injury. They don't know how serious it is. The Bruins doctor is with him now in the Boston dressing room, but he will not be back in this hockey game tonight. And that's a tough one. Patrick Roy in the nets. Mrs. Roy watching. And you always see the littlest Roy on the coach's corner opening. It's Patrick and Michel. Wives they look more nervous sometimes than the hockey players, John.
They are. My wife used to die 1,000 deaths watching me play. Don't say anything.
Good touch that one. Juno tried to center it for Boston. There's Oates. He'll make the play. Juno the shot. Waugh the save. Canadiens get it to the line. Weimer kept it in. Nearing the 7-minute mark. Third period. Canadiens are leading in the hockey game. They scored the first goal. A couple of penalties coming here. Desjardins and then Murray tied it in the second for Boston. Corson here in the third at 4:53. 2-1.
Of the Canadiens, Joe Juno of the Canadiens might be lucky that Juno went off with Nyland, who ran Juno after the whistle had gone. Juneau took a poke at him in retaliation, and they both go. But Nyland took a chance after the whistle, taking a run at the Boston rookie.
And it was Chris Nyland's penalty when he ran over Andy Moog that the Bruins scored their goal on. I'm sure Pat Burns wouldn't be too thrilled with back-to-back ones.
Don Sweeney's shot was deflected in front of the goal and just missed. Cardinal is going to send Leclerc away. Trying to get in. Carbonneau is in there. Rebound. Moog made the save. And the rebound was cleared. Schneider shot it in. Carbonneau looking dangerous on that rush. Leach across center and over the Montreal line. Into the corner he goes against Matthew Schneider. He was hit hard in there. Leclerc can't move on it. Murphy kept it in. Bounced away from Poulin. Carbonneau shot it the other way and took a hit as he did. The Bruins go after it, but it's going to be Montreal's Brisebois who gets it out. Up to center and in. On Carpenter is Leclerc. Leclerc stopping behind the net. He hit the boards rather heavily. Carbonneau takes over to Leclerc again. Leclerc trying to one-arm it out front. Got it in the crease. And the Bruins take it away again. Don Sweeney to center. Faked the shot. Poulin drives it. Nowhere near the net with the shot. Cardinal up to the Boston line. Cardinal in through to Corson, who's upended. Play goes on. The crowd wanted a penalty there. Up the center is Desjardins. Shot it in, nearing the 9-minute mark. Third period, 2-1 Montreal. Canadiens on the puck. Corson again. Almost fanned on the backhander. Desjardins, strong again tonight on the Canadian blue line. Fed in by Keane. Down the ice to touch it is Wheeler. Maybe a penalty called against Boston. A hooking penalty coming up to the Boston Bruins. And Canadiens will have the man advantage again.
Ted Donato takes a hooking penalty at 8:29, and I don't know whether Rob Schick really wanted to call this. You saw him shrug his shoulders after he made the call. Here's the tug. And look at Donato. Shane Corson knew there was going to be an icing call. Looked right at the referee. Now this one, that looks more like a hold there. And Guy Carbonneau goes into Andy Moog. The Buffalo Sabres did a pretty good job driving to the net on the Bruins, and the Canadiens here tonight have done a pretty good job. That's how they got their second goal, just crashing the net.
Gilchrist with Muller and Savard on the Canadiens power play. Haller and Eric Desjardins, who has the puck now. Starting Savard out to center ice. Lost it as he neared the Boston line, and Murphy sends the Canadiens back again. Montreal 2, Boston 1. Game 2 of the Adams final. Bruins won the first one. Haller moving up. Hangs on to it. Gives it to Desjardins. His pass into Savard. Savard waiting on the outside. And now Desjardins sets it up for Muller. Hard pass. He couldn't control it. Gilchrist and Savard again. Handed back and forth. They want him to shoot. He will not. Gilchrist gives Savard the puck once more. A Haller shoot. He put it in the slot. Nobody open on that side for Muller. And the Canadiens killing the clock themselves on this power play. 50 seconds left in the penalty, make that 52.
Update on the injuries. Now from New York, we understand Mario Lemieux has changed his uniform from a hockey uniform to civvies, but he is still in Madison Square Garden. He's through for the night, and he has a wrist injury. Here in Montreal, Raymond Bourque is in the Boston dressing room being looked at by the Bruin team doctor. He left this game here in the third period with a shoulder injury. Will not return tonight, and we don't know the exact extent of the Bourque injury. So that's tough. It's playoff time, when the best are usually at their best, and two of the all-timers in this league right now are both out of their games with injuries.
The Bruins trailing really could use Ray Bourque. They don't have many offensive defensemen. Without Bourque in the lineup, they'd have to look to Glenn Wesley or Don Sweeney maybe to rush up and jump into the play.
Tough to find somebody to take the place of a Raymond Bourque. Gone for the night here in Montreal. The Canadiens lead by 1 goal and 45 seconds left on a Boston penalty. Oates shoots it down the ice. Poulin is going up there, giving Schneider a race for it. Poulin got there, hooked the puck on the boards, got it back. Weimer gets set, the shot, Waugh the save. Poulin on it again, tried to center it. Once more, Poulin out front, quick. What a save by Waugh! There's a game saver by Patrick Waugh on the shot by Reed.
And what a job by Dave Poulin. You won't see penalty killing any better than that, John, and he made all that happen. The old pro really did a number on Matthew Schneider to start with, and he set up a great scoring chance for Reed.
Dave Reed is very effective short-handed, gets in the slot in a good position to shoot. And look at Waugh, sets up, he reads the play very well, gets the left hand out, makes it almost look easy. Oh, you see Waugh take a look, he knows Reed is there. He gets out, gets square to the shooter, hand open, and makes the save.
And a good save it was by Patrick Waugh. Shots are dead even, 18 apiece. The Canadiens leading 2-1. Just past the halfway mark of the third period. 25 seconds left in the Boston penalty. The Canadiens get it up to center, but can't catch up to it. Now near center, it's Dion. Stopping, passes back to Desjardins. He fooled Reed, going to Haller. Haller down the right side, and here's Dion. Back it comes to Courtnall, shoots. Hot shot, stop. Courtnall again. Oh, and Moog just got a piece of that one. Courtnall going for the far side. The Boston penalty is over. And there he is. Donato out of the penalty box. And fresh to center. Got as far as the line, and Haller pinned him. Left wing pass going astray. Pounded back in by Gord Murphy. 9:10 left in the third period. The Canadiens lead 2-1. Here in game 2 of the Adams final. LeClaire tried to go up there. Overskated the puck. Juneau shot it in over the Montreal line for Oates. And Desjardins put it back for Schneider. Put it through his skates. Canadiens get it to the line, but not out. Juneau kept it in. Oates dropped it back toward the line, and it got by everybody. Hines shooting one in. There's Schneider. 8:35 to play in the third. Murray got it loose for Juneau on the other side. Hangs on to it. A lot of confidence by Juneau, but then he lost it to Desjardins. Hines left it. It's shot high down the ice. This is going to be icing against the Boston Bruins. Corson has given the Canadiens a 2-1 lead here in the third.
Brian Skrudland's been very effective again tonight.
Face off to the right of Moog. 8:19 left in the third. Canadiens by 1, looking for insurance. But they have to be careful. The Bruins biding their time, waiting for a break. This is Leach. Remember, they're without Raymond Bourque. A shoulder injury, gone for the night. Daigneault is around the goal. Leach failed to pick it up. It's flipped to center ice by Skrudland. Bruins are changing, and Daigneault has lots of time to go back to Sean Hill for McPhee, and Wesley watches him. Here's Leach again for Boston. Ruzicka comes up there, and he's dangerous. Put the high shot in too high. Onto the glass. Hill knocking a high one down. Turning immediately. Coming out. Got to center to Skrudland. He couldn't find it. Savard does. And lifted a high one into the Boston zone. The Canadiens want to make changes. Just over 7 minutes left. Here's Savard stealing it with Muller in front. And here's Gilchrist. Loose puck, Gilchrist, Muller. He missed it. They had 3 or 4 whacks at it in front of Moog. Bob Sweeney shot it away, and Brisebois takes it away from the goaltender. Savard does not clear it. Here's Murphy from the blue line. Shot doesn't get through. The Bruins are on it. Turning was Ruzicka, and he couldn't find the net. Canadians get it out. Muller, Savard, and Gilchrist. And boy, did they come close on the last rush. They're going off now.
Ruzicka hadn't played since early in the second period, but the Bruins trailing, needing that big goal. All of a sudden, you see him back out there. I'm sure it'll take him a couple of shifts to get the legs going again.
Desjardins for Montreal. 6:30 left in the third. Corson through center ice, leading a 3-man attack on this rush. Keane watching Moog come out of the net. There's Corson, flipped it to the corner. The Bruins are on it. Wesley trying to move it out to Bob Sweeney. He's stopped by Keane. Sweeney again. Ahead to Poulin. It got over the line to center. Corson watching his man. Donato, he upended him. Donato is back in the play. Going back of the Canadiens' goal. Can't center it. He's tied up and sent. They score! Poulin got the quick pass out. And the Bruins, being very patient, do find that big break. And they tie it.
What were we saying about a mistake? Eric Desjardins in trouble against the rookie Donato. That started the Canadiens' problem, and it turned into a big one.
Here's Eric Desjardins. He's in control, but then he just loses it on the backhand, and Donato makes the good play. And look at Dave Poulin go to the front of the net. It's a Peter Duras to Poulin pass from Donato, and that's what the forward line's like. All 3 guys touch the puck. Duras sees Poulin, and Mike Keane can't get there in time. No chance at all for Patrick Roy. Poulin looked like a goal scorer as he snaps this one high. And that's a good camera angle. No chance for the goaltender, Patrick Roy.
So it's tied. 14:05, the time of that tying goal by Boston's Dave Poulin. And the Bruins go after another one now. In over the line they go, and the pass in front grabbed by Daigneault, and he cleared it out. Duras and Donato got the assists on the Poulin goal. And it's 2-2 late in the third period now, just over 5 minutes left. Canadiens Leclerc. He's been a bit of trouble all night for Boston. Barging in, took a hit from Weimer and shot the puck behind the net. This one by Leclerc to Murray to Oates. Oates moving up, looking around. He finds Murray, who knocked it down but then couldn't shoot it. 4:55 remaining third period. Boston winning the first game here at the Forum, taking a 1-0 lead in this Adams final. And now they've tied the Canadiens late in this third period of Game 2. Scene shifts to Boston, of course, Thursday and Saturday for Games 3 and 4. Canadiens, Brisebois shot is blocked. 3 Bruins on the rush. Bob Sweeney up over the Montreal line, going in with Juneau and Leach. The shot, the rebound, and it's tapped away by Muller. 2-on-1. Savard is racing in there with him. Here's Savard in the slot. Oh, he just missed with that shot, and what a great move he made. At the far side, Sweeney looking for it. Canadians on it. Backhander tipped it into the net. And Moog made the save with Muller trying to tip it in. Great scoring chances for Montreal, but it's still 2-2.
18 saves apiece for the 2 goaltenders. John's fellow members of the Goaltenders Union, Andy Moog and Patrick Roy. 4 goals in this game, John. I don't think you could fault the goaltenders on any of them. And now with just 3:22 left in the third period, this is like sudden death pretty well for them from here on in.
Canadians crashing the net very well tonight and trying to get Andy Moog off his game.
Sean Hill rifles one in for Montreal. McPhee was up there. Murphy for Boston got it over on the boards, but there's Carbonneau getting it out. McPhee couldn't get his stick down. Ripped back in by Canadians. Don Sweeney coming back for it. Juneau. Oates and Murray are up front for Boston. Murray's pass stopped by Skrudland. He got it back. Up for Skrudland again. That starts McPhee, but again it hopped away from McPhee. Right over his stick as he was moving away. Montreal's Carbonneau can't get it off the boards. 4 players. Finally, it's kicked loose. And the Bruins get it to center. Juneau decides to back up. Skrudland in watching him. Murray with the pass. Poked it ahead. He's checked at the Montreal line, and here's Muller. Got it out there, and Savard on the ice with Gilchrist. Here's Savard working it in. Muller can't get a shot. What a great play by Savard. Muller was open. Now Gilchrist and Muller along with Savard, the 3 Canadian players behind the net, trying to get it away from Murray and Wesley. They have their skates locked on it. And they call the play. The 2 Boston players forcing the play dead for a face-off of the Boston zone.
Kirk Muller with a good chance. He wanted the pass behind him. You could see him hollering for the pass, but Denny Savard threw it in front. A left-hand shot going down the right wing. He wanted to try and one-time it, but the pass ended up going by him in front. He would have had to take it on his backhand. Here's the play. Now watch Muller come into your screen late, and the pass is in front of him, and see he has to switch to his backhand to try and handle it. He wanted it a little bit behind him so he could tee it up.
2 minutes, 1 second left in the third. Nice to have you with us for this Game 2 of the Adams Final, coast to coast in Canada and in the United States on SportsChannel America. I'm Bob Cole with John Garrett and Dick Irvin, Ron McLean and Don Cherry. We're at the Forum in Montreal. Next 2 games, of course, 3 and 4 at the Boston Garden on Thursday and Saturday. The Bruins won the first one 2 nights ago right here. 2-2 now with 2 minutes, 1 second left in regulation time. Bruins without Ray Bourque. Long shot. Bourque injured his shoulder. Is in the dressing room.
That was offside. I thought the linesman was a touch slow in calling it. The shot was all the way through before the whistle went. And it definitely came out over the blue line.
Here's the puck come out over the line. And Ray Scampadello is right there to make the call. And as you say, Dick, it did take him a while to make that call.
Face off just outside the Boston line. Gilchrist, Savard, Muller, Leach with Dave Reed and Carpenter for Boston. Schneider and Brisebois get together to put it in. Weimer back with Wesley, the other Boston defenseman, and here's Wesley. Shot one to the line. It got by Reed down the ice. Schneider back, icing against Boston. 1:40 to play in regulation time.
All these faceoffs in the Boston zone could prove costly. No Ray Bourque on the Boston bench for Rick Bowness. Dave Poulin's logged a lot of ice time. Adam Oates is their main centerman who takes the draws. He's coming out. Pat Burns now changes his lines.
Corson, Dion, and Keane come on for Montreal. Dion has been very aggressive for the Canadiens in this third period. Over to get a new stick. There's the time remaining with a score tied at 2. Boston with Adam Oates in to take the face-off. Leach to his right. Draw comes to the line. Brisebois, rebound, and it's cleared very quickly before any Canadian player could get near it. All the way back is Schneider. He's rushed on the play. 2 Bruins are in. Leach trying to get it loose. Dave Reed there with him, and they force a face-off now in the Montreal zone. 1:24 left.
And that chance came right from the face-off for the Canadiens, and now they have a draw down in their own zone. A couple seconds here. I'd like to congratulate my brother Eldon and his wife Marie on the birth of their son Joseph last night in Toronto.
Uncle John.
Uncle John. I hope Both are doing well. They know our thoughts are with them.
And our congratulations for sure. Canadians have Corson to take this draw. I'm sure Adam Oates will be on for Boston.
The Bruins management staff likes to compare Glenn Murray to Cam Neely, and there's not much more of a compliment they can give the young Sudbury Wolf from Nova Scotia. There's 4 young juniors playing on that Sudbury team from Nova Scotia now, as the Ontario Hockey League scouting staff brings some Maritimers up.
Here's Oates. New stick, ready to go. 2-2 tie, 1:24 left in the third period. Desjardins around the net. Puck is played out by Carbonneau, tapped down the ice by Corson. Can't catch up to it though. Fired back in. A good play by Weimer to get back there against Corson. There's Corson again, boots it in behind the net. Carbonneau going after it. The goaltender Moog was out. The Bruins clear it to center ice. 1 minute left in regulation time. Wesley back to the goal. 50 seconds to play. They get it up to Oates at center. He shot it ahead. Murray's drive. He had Rob Beaton who was going down. The puck just missed the far post. 35 seconds remaining in regulation time here in Game 2 of the Adams final. Carbonneau had one to hit his face mask. 28 seconds left. Corson just deflected it down inside the Boston line. 20 seconds to play. Murphy being careful now for Boston. Up to Oates. 15 seconds remaining in the third period. Brisebois goes back. Reed chased him. Now Oates against Schneider. 8 seconds remaining. Canadians trying to hold it in on the boards. 4 seconds left. And we're going to go to overtime in this second game.
Boston and Montreal go to overtime. 2-2 to score at the end of regulation. Rangers in front of the Penguins 3-2 under a minute to go in the third. We take you to the Garden.
Now. We have 40 seconds remaining in the third period at Madison Square Garden as we welcome our entire Sports Channel America audience. Barrasso is headed for the net. The Rangers lead by a score of 3-2. Murphy with a shot just wide. McEachran tried to center and the Rangers clear the zone. Larry Murphy will get to it at center ice with 22 seconds left. Turned it up ahead. The play is onside. Okaboom back for the New York Rangers. Slapped it off the boards. Chris King with an empty net. Just dumped it into the Penguin zone. Bork goes back with 8 seconds left. The crowd begins to rise, sensing that this series will be tied. Yes, an empty net goal. Mark Messier and some of the other Rangers, Ty Domi, head for their dressing room. Neil Smith, the general manager, says, all right, this series will be tied at a game apiece going to Pittsburgh Thursday night.
I suppose the overall picture, though, Jigs, when you think about it, not to take anything away from a well-played hockey game and a win for the New York Rangers, but the only thing on the minds of the Pittsburgh Penguins coming in here was to win one of the 2 hockey games. They've accomplished that. Of course, the way these teams play in the playoffs and other series, home ice advantage not necessarily has been that big a thing.
No, that's for sure. Jeff Bukaboom gets credit for his second goal of the game, an empty netter. And it is all over at Madison Square Garden. We know now there will be a 6th game in this series. That'll be here next Monday. The Rangers congratulating one another, and Roger Nielsen can breathe a little easier as he goes to the dressing room. So the Rangers defeat the Penguins. They have to come from behind to do it. Here in the third period, 3 unanswered goals and a 4-2 victory for the Rangers. Back to our Sports Channel America studios and Bob Papa.
Thank you very much, Jigs and Eddie. The Rangers defeat Pittsburgh. The final score, 4-2 at Madison Square Garden. Meanwhile, Montreal and Boston tied at 2 at the end of 3 periods of play. More of our Stanley Cup coverage. We now pause for a regional break.
16 teams have been cut down to 8 as the hunt for the Stanley Cup continues. In the Norris Division, it's the Midway versus Motown. Fedorov and Yzerman have the Red Wings rolling. In their way is the Stonewall D of Chris Chelios and the Chicago Blackhawks. Battling for the Smythe Crown, it's a Western Canada war. The Canucks are shooting for their first division title in a decade. Can they stop 5-time Cup winner Edmonton, or will newcomer Bernie Nichols lead the Oilers to the Promised Land? It's Game 3 of the Capital Conference Division Finals, live Wednesday on SportsChannel America.
Welcome back, everybody. The Rangers even up their best-of-7 series with the Penguins. The final score 4-2 at Madison Square Garden in New York. For a recap of tonight's game, the men who called it, Jiggs McDonald and Eddie Westfall.
Well, this series, everybody said would be a long series, and we're assured of at least 6 games now. The Rangers with a big third period tonight, Ed.
They were a good third period, a strong third period. They outshot Pittsburgh again in the period by a wide margin, Jiggs, but they really did control the play. They had the better scoring opportunities. Pittsburgh started to make a lot of mistakes in their own end. Some of them were forced, some of them were not forced errors. They handed away the puck several times, and you just can't do that and win hockey games in the playoffs.
So often in playoffs, though, goals come from unexpected sources, and that was the case tonight, especially in the third period. Defenseman Jeff Bookeboom with his team down 2-1. The team's playing 4-on-4 hockey, and Bookeboom gets the tying goal.
It was a beautiful play set up by Mike Gardner, and what a blast. Jeff Bookeboom had time. He'd come in and just let it fly. You could see the reaction of goaltender Tom Barrasso. He was well behind the puck when he made his move with his left leg, and it was a beautiful shot. It was drilled.
It was a matter of, yes, we needed that. Bookeboom tying the game, and then Chris King, kind of a broken play. It appeared that Barrasso had made the save, and then the puck got away from him, and the Rangers used that to win it.
That was one of the unforced errors, Jiggs, because King at that time was allowed to come out from the side of the net. He poked at the puck. It was the rebound off Tom Barrasso that he was ultimately able to shove into the net. Of course, that was the go-ahead goal and the winning goal.
You think of the night here, and all the hacks and whacks and things that went on. This is the goal that actually won it for the Rangers.
You could see Jim Pack, number 2, as he got to King, but it was much too late. King had 2 chances at it and put it in.
And then, of course, there was that empty net goal by Jeff Bookeboom coming with only 3 seconds remaining in the game. And the Rangers will go to Pittsburgh. The series tied at a game each. Identical scores, by the way. 4-2 Pittsburgh in the opening game here. 4-2 here tonight. And I think of the loss of Messier originally. We were all concerned for how the Rangers would approach this game without Messier and certainly without Turcotte. And then before the first period was over, Pittsburgh had lost 2 of their top players.
Well, losing Mario Lemieux, Jiggs, you could see what it did to the power play of the Pittsburgh Penguins, and it was all but non-existent. The penalty killing of the Rangers, you have to give them their just due. When they were down 2 men, they did some job, yeoman's job, keeping the Pittsburgh Penguins from getting a goal. That could have been disastrous for the Rangers.
And some of the hitting all night long, the Rangers initiated, finished checks. They took men to the boards, some of it legal, some of it not. Not that many penalties called in the game, but you've got to give credit where credit is due, and the Rangers are even with the Penguins thanks to this 4-2 win at Madison Square Garden.
All right, good job, Jiggs and Eddie. The Rangers win at Madison Square Garden, the final 4-2, 3 goals in period number 3. And let's salute our Molson player of the game. He is the New York Rangers' Chris King. He scored the game-winning goal at 14:36 of the third period, 2 minutes after Jeff Bookeboom had tied the game. At 12:36, King scores the game winner. Assist Joe Cirella and Tony Amonte. Jeff Bookeboom added an empty net goal as well. So the Rangers over the Penguins by a score of 4-2. More of our Stanley Cup coverage on SportsChannel America after these messages.
They must have heard the good news. Molson's 35-year history with the NHL is going to continue. Molson, bringing you SportsChannel America's exciting NHL coverage.
16 teams have been cut down to 8 as the hunt for the Stanley Cup continues. In the Norris Division, it's the Midway versus Motown. Fedorov and Yzerman have the Red Wings rolling. In their way is the Stonewall D of Chris Chelios and the Chicago Blackhawks. Battling for the Smythe Crown, it's a Western Canada war. The Canucks are shooting for their first division title in a decade. Can they stop 5-time Cup winner Edmonton, or will newcomer Bernie Nichols lead the Oilers to the Promised Land? It's Game 3 of the Capital Conference Division Finals, live Wednesday on SportsChannel America.
Welcome back, everyone. One game in overtime, one game complete. In the Patrick Division Final, the New York Rangers defeat the Pittsburgh Penguins. The New York Rangers with a scare coming into this one without their leading point total player in Mark Messier. Let's take a look at the highlights. They're brought to you by Menon. Mark Messier forced to sit out his first game of the year with the Rangers because of back spasms. Darren Turcotte also out. The Penguins open up the scoring 1 minute in. It's Kevin Stevens past Mike Richter, 1-0 Penguins. And it didn't take long for Ranger frustration to show. Adam Graves with a two-hand slash to Mario Lemieux. That knocks him out of the game. So the Penguins have 19 points in the playoffs out of their lineup. The Rangers continue their roughhouse tactics. This time it's Joey Mullen, the human pinball. Paul Broughton delivers the hard blow. Mullen also out of the game. Second period, New York ties it. Brian Leetch tries once, tries twice, 3 times, and he's in. We're tied up at 1 apiece. Late in the period, Pittsburgh will regain the lead, though. Off the face-off, it comes out to Larry Murphy, and he scores his 4th goal of the playoffs on a slap shot. 2-1 Penguins after 2. Third period, Sean McEachern nails Paul Broughton and takes a penalty. On the ensuing 4-on-4, Jeff Bukaboom will rifle one right past Tom Barrasso to tie the game up at 2 apiece. Exactly 2 minutes later, Chris King will just beat Barrasso on the doorstep. He whacks at it twice. Rangers go in front by a score of 3-2, and the Rangers celebrate. Jeff Bukaboom adds an empty net goal at 19:57 to tie the series up at 1 game apiece. The Rangers outshoot the Penguins 38-26. Without Mario Lemieux, Pittsburgh 0-for-5 on the power play. Without Messier, the Rangers were 0-for-2. When we come back after this timeout, we'll show you highlights of the Bruins and Canadiens on SportsChannel America. Welcome back, everyone. They may be finished in the Patrick Division for tonight, but not in the Adams Division. 2-2 the score, Montreal and Boston after regulation. Let's take a look at the highlights. Patrick Roy, with a poor outing in Game 1, makes the save here on Gord Murphy. A little shaky, but the puck doesn't go in. That's all that counts. Looking more stable, Boston's Andy Moog. Here he comes up with a big save on Patrice Brisebois right in front. Moments later, though, Montreal will break through. Eric Desjardins' shot will squeak through the post, right through the pads, and slid across the post. 1-0 in favor of Montreal. Late second period, Boston on the power play. Glenn Murray camped out in front, building a house. Just turns and fires and scores. 1-1 the score. Early in the third period, Matthew Schneider with a shot from the point. Shane Corson will bang home the rebound as he swoops in right there and puts it in. 2-1 Montreal, but Boston will come back. Peter Dora is out in front to Dave Poulin, who will net the goal here. Also a feed from Ted Donato, and it's 2-2, and that's where we stand heading into overtime. End of regulation, Boston and Montreal 2-2. Boston is 1-15 in overtime playoff games at the Forum in Montreal. So Patrick Roy has bounced back from his difficulties in game number 1. He has been solid. Andy Moog has been solid as well. Overtime at the Forum. Does it get much better? Let's take you out there now with Bob Cole, Dick Irvin, and John Garrett.
In the playoffs.
And you can say you can forget the regular season, but the Canadiens on the road have been dismal at the end of the season, and it plays on your mind. You get that mind frame that, well, we can't win on the road, we can't win on the road, we have to win our home games, and now they have to win at least 1 in Boston anyway, and it'd be tough to win 2.
And again, we welcome viewers in the United States who have joined us tonight for this game on SportsChannel America. The Boston Bruins and the Montreal Canadiens. And a real logjam of a game. The shots are only 21-20 in favor of the Canadiens. So close checking hockey game. 2-2. Overtime about to start. Corson against Poulin. The Canadiens win the draw. Desjardins moving over center. He's in over the Boston line, and he wants to win it in a hurry. Centers it. It comes back to the line to Daigneault. He took a screen shot. Now Desjardins got back there, and this one will go off his stick into the crowd.
I don't know, John, how a coach feels about a defenseman on the rush like that in overtime. But, Bob, you're right. Eric Desjardins feeling badly about the play that led to the tying goal, certainly. And the young man who the Canadiens consider their best defenseman, embarrassed by that one, did his best to end it quickly in the first minute here. First rush.
Dick, he has been rushing an awful lot in these playoffs. I think more than all season, or is that incorrect?
Oh, you're right. And really toward the end of the Hartford series, he started. And that's one of the things I know that Steve Shutt, our fellow broadcaster here in Montreal, he always felt that Desjardins, that they put some kind of a rein on him, that he should have been rushing, moving up with the play much more all season. That's how he made the Team Canada. with his offensive skills from the defensive position.
Well, he looks pretty good carrying the puck. It is shot in by Schneider. Here's Savard. You know how dangerous he can be. Look at him. Savard turned, but he couldn't get unbalanced to take a shot. Schneider back. Icing called against Boston.
All right, John, Ron and Don wondered what Rick Bowness might say to the Bruins. I ask you what Pat Burns might have said to the Canadiens.
Pat Burns has a defensive mind, and I'm sure he told his players, just don't get caught. But let's try and end it in a hurry. Let's put the pressure on the Bruins. Go to the net. And you look at Denny Savard, he gets circled around. He has to go wide. And when he does go wide, his back is to the play, and then he throws a blind pass back against the grain, and the Bruins can't just ice it.
Canadians, every man inside the line, hoping to win this face-off, but the Bruins control into the corner. Savard, however, is working in there, trying to find it. Tapped away. Murray gets it out for Boston. Weimer faked the shot, and that put Reed offside. He couldn't hang on at the blue line.
And now Weimer talks it over with Reed. I'm sure Rick Bowness doesn't want Jim Weimer thinking that he's going to be a Bobby Orr type player. Had his forward going and just didn't shoot it around the boards and give Dave Reed a chance to go and get it. Bowness has had the pleasure of coaching in the American League and seeing a lot of his players up close. He had them in Maine. And you really get to read. He talked about character players. That's where you can tell character players in the minor leagues.
Bruins trying to take a stranglehold on the Adams final. If they can bag one here in overtime, they will. Canadians know how important it is to win this hockey game tonight. Well, we're in overtime. Just past 1 minute of play in a first overtime period. On the boards, Gord Murphy. Gilchrist comes in poking at it. He's covered by Oates, but here's Savard again. Can't find it. It hit his skate, and he couldn't get a stick on it. That is Muller fighting hard. Now Savard takes the puck, twisting and turning away from Oates. Savard doing it again. Brisebois can't shoot it. Savard once more. Pass out to Schneider, who came charging in, nearly got caught. 3 Bruins almost rushed away, and now 3 Bruins do. 1 man back. Oates dropped it. Murray shoots, and it's blocked and sent away. What a great chance for Boston. Now a breakaway. Savard. Can he do it for Montreal? No. Moog stops him. Denny Savard at the end of a long shift just couldn't get up the steam to crank it in.
He got down the ice to take the shot, but he seemed to be out of steam taking the shot. He just didn't have anything on it.
I think he tried to fool Moog with a changeup, and he tried to slide it under him, but Andy read the play very well, got the pads down tight. Here's the Bruins' chance, and Glenn Murray hits Adam Oates as Oates is driving to the net, acting as a screen, and the Canadians come back the other way. And the Denny Savard breakaway, here it comes. He's tired, he's at the end of the shift, and he just tries to slide it right there. Almost does get it under Andy Moog. Now here's the reaction of both benches. There's the Canadians watching Savard. They're all on their feet. And he just doesn't score it.
Desjardins takes a shot. Here's another shot. That's blocked. 2 Bruins coming out. Juneau, one of them. He's dangerous, coming in with Leach. Juneau tied up by Keane. What an effort by Keane to get back for Montreal and prevent probably a scoring play for Boston. They're in again. Juneau right in. Oh, what a save by Waugh. I'll tell you, folks, that was one huge save by one Patrick Waugh. He appeared to be beaten. Got the left leg back. Another shot kicked out by Waugh. This is hot stuff. It's kicked off. Desjardins up over the net. Oh boy, scoring chances in this first overtime. Canadians now. It is Corson coming in with Dion, and Desjardins getting set to Dion. Can't get the stick on the puck, and the Bruins race away again. There's Juneau, screen shot. Waugh got that. Going down. 3 minutes of hot action here in overtime at the Boston Garden. next stop. The Bruins want to win this one at the Forum tonight. They're in again. Boston coming close. Score! Duras scores for the Boston Bruins. And they take a 2-0 lead in this Adams final.
Canadians are saying Peter Duras kicked this one in. And Pat Burns is looking over at Rob Schick. The Bruins are all congratulating Peter Duras. And there's Patrick Waugh, not much chance. Rob Schick now talking it over at the official scorer's box.
And he's shaking his head, the referee saying no. Rick Bowness ran off the ice. He wanted to get out of there. He didn't want any part of an argument or a question. He just got out of the interior of the building here. And the Boston Bruins are winning it 3-2. I'm sure that's going to be the result.
Here's the play. Now watch Donato, the backhand pass. Duras tried to kick it up to his stick off his knee. And it goes by Patrick Waugh.
Now wait a minute. The Bruins aren't off the ice yet.
I think we'd better wait a minute. The referee is talking to the officials downstairs at the penalty timekeeper's bench, and there's the phone.
Now here's another look. The off-ice officials are from Toronto. Duras tried to kick it up to his stick off his knee. And it goes in the corner past Patrick Waugh. Now you see Rob Schick on the phone.
Wally Harris, who was the NHL official in charge of the Minnesota-Detroit series, was involved in the call when the Detroit goal by Fedorov was ruled a goal by the replay. Harris is the supervisor for this series. So obviously he's involved in this one as well.
What a moment of decision this is at the Forum as we look at the play again and see if we can see something. There's Duras, 16. He taps it, looks for it, misses it with the stick. It goes in, and Rob Schick, the referee, is on the phone to upstairs. And the video replay. He nods his head. The Bruins are leaving. And they've won the hockey game, obviously.
And there goes the dejected Montreal Canadiens as they opened up the gates in overtime. Two defensive teams with a ton of chances at both ends. There was breakaways, there was 3-on-1s, and then the Bruins cash in.
Peter Duras ends it in overtime. They went to the replay. The goal counted. Boston with a commanding 2-0 lead in this best-of-7 series. They beat Montreal 3-2. It's only Boston's second win in 17 overtime playoff games at the Forum in Montreal. The last time they did it in 1943. More of our Stanley Cup coverage on Sports Channel America after these messages.
They must have heard the good news. Molson's 35-year history with the NHL is going to continue. Molson, bringing you Sports Channel America's exciting NHL coverage.
The save of the night belongs to New York Rangers goalie Mike Richter. He stops Phil Bourque in front and stops a rebound as well. Another look at Mike Richter stopping Bourque and the rebound. Fabulous. The save of the night is brought to you by Dockers. Nobody does colors like Dockers. Welcome back to our studios in New York. I'm Bob Papa. A thrilling night, night number 18 of the 1992 Stanley Cup Playoffs. Heading into tonight, the Boston Bruins were 1 for 15 in overtime games at the Forum in Montreal. The last time they won, a guy named Harvey Busher Jackson scored back in 1943. But they win in overtime in 1992. The final score 3-2. Peter Duras scores at 3:12 of the overtime session on a feed from Ted Donato. They went to the replay, but the goal counted. Duras also with an assist in this game. And it's time to salute our Molson player of the game. And, of course, he is Peter Doris with that overtime goal and also an assist at 14:05 of the third period, which set up Dave Poulin and enabled the Bruins to take this game to an overtime session. So Boston goes to the Forum in Montreal, and they win the first 2 games. Meanwhile, at Madison Square Garden in New York, the Rangers even up their best-of-7 series with Pittsburgh. The final 4-2. The Rangers have to come from behind. Jeff Bukaboom scored at 12:36 of the third period. Chris King scored 2 minutes later to put the Rangers ahead. Bukaboom added an empty net goal. Mark Messier did not play because of back spasms. Darren Turcotte out with a wrist injury. Mario Lemieux played, was injured in the first period on a slash from Adam Graves, and Lemieux did not return in the game. Joe Mullen also injured. He did not return in the game. This series will move back to Pittsburgh. Well, tomorrow night on Sports Channel America, it's back to the Campbell Conference we go, to the Smythe and Norris Division Finals. Let's take a sneak preview at what we'll see tomorrow evening. For the Edmonton Oilers, Bill Ranford had 40 saves in game number 1, but in game number 2 he was injured. He will skate with the team tomorrow. His status is questionable. Cliff Roning had 2 goals in the Game 2 victory, a 4-0 win for Vancouver. Can he keep the streak rolling? Meanwhile, Chicago's Eddie Belfour has been big time for Chicago. 47 saves on 49 shots in 2 games against the Detroit Red Wings. He has come up big time and time again. And for the Detroit Red Wings, they continue to try to play intimidating style of hockey. Of course, Bob Probert always in the middle of the fray. It should be frantic and furious tomorrow night on Sports Channel America at 8:30. That's our featured game, the Blackhawks and the Detroit Red Wings from Chicago Stadium, Game 3 of the Norris Division Final. And, of course, we'll keep you posted on Edmonton and Vancouver as well throughout the course of the evening. Then it's back on Thursday evening to the Wales Conference. Some of you will see the Montreal Canadiens skate against the Boston Bruins at the Boston Garden at 7:30. Montreal trails 2-0. Some of you will see the Patrick Division, final game number 3. Pittsburgh playing host to the Rangers. That series tied at 1, at 7:30 Eastern Time. For our entire crew, I'm Bob Papa. Let's take one more look at the goal by Peter Doris that gave the Bruins a 2-0 lead. Good night, everyone.